What up, folks? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Policy Genius. February, it might be the shortest month of the year, but still got plenty of time in the month to check off your February to-do list, which could be two birds with one stone if you're going over to Policy Genius. You can compare your home and auto insurance rates and save up to $1,055 a year by re-shopping with Policy Genius now. That's money you can put towards things you care about. Maybe it's tires to go drifting. Maybe it's racing school. Maybe it's upgrading your garage. Maybe it's just taking your spouse out to dinner for putting up with your car habit. Whatever it is, Policy Genius can put that money back in your pocket. All you got to do is head over to policygenius.com and answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property. Then Policy Genius takes it from there. They'll compare rates from over 30 top insurers, from Progressive to Nationwide, to find your lowest quotes. The Policy Genius team will look at all the ways to maximize your savings, including bundling your home and auto policies. If Policy Genius finds a better rate than what you're paying now, they'll switch you over for free. And that kind of service has earned Policy Genius a 5-star rating across over 1,600 reviews on Trustpilot and Google. Now, listen, here's how it goes. If you're worried that March is around the corner and you've barely gotten anything done, take a deep breath. Policy Genius will help you make the most of this short month in minutes. Just reshop your home and auto insurance, and you could save up to $1,055. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius, when it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. We are also brought to you today by Lemonade Health, Lemonade AID, right? The new year is a great time to check on your general health and well-being, especially in the middle of a pandemic. However, you don't want to go to the doctor's office in a pandemic, do you? I understand. I've been there. Lemonade Health is a virtual medical office providing you affordable health care without the need for insurance. Their medical team can treat anything from erectile dysfunction to anxiety, depression, insomnia, hair loss, high blood pressure, and even more. Lemonade is providing Smoking Tire listeners with 50% off your first order of any ED medication. So getting started is super easy. Visit lemonadehealth.com. That's spelled LEMONAID. Not ADE, AID, Lemonade, like help. Figure out the online questionnaire. Lemonadehealth.com/tire, by the way. Lemonadehealth.com/tire. Fill out the online questionnaire, and their medical team will review and get you medication fast. Delivery is fast, free, and comes in discreet packaging. So visit lemonadehealth.com, LEMONAID health.com/tire for 50% off your first order of ED medicine with Lemonade Health. And of course, we are brought to you by Tradecraft Farms, the official ganja of the Smoking Tire Podcast. Here in California, it is incredibly civilized. We can purchase such products recreationally, and if you're in California, where else should you look but Tradecraft Farms? Whether it's flour, concentrates, specialty joints like their 24-karat gold and white gold joints, or those dope tulip joints I put on Instagram, those things rule, and Tradecraft has got them. The flour is potent, delicious, and incredibly well manicured. They're doing science over here, folks. Give them a follow on Instagram at Tradecraft_farms. And if you are in California, ask for them by name at your local dispensary. All right, folks, on this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, comedian Byron Bowers is in the building. We had him on a couple years ago when he was first getting to LA in the store. The man has come up. He's acting in films right now with guys like Idris Elba and other heavy hitters, and he's driving a Porsche 997 Targa around. The man is doing well for himself, and we have a great chat that goes all over the place. Byron Bowers on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
They probably have a great program.
Yeah. I mean, the chicks you come across,
you know, they're gonna be future CEOs, even if not, you know.
No, when I went to that college, I applied to and got into and started at the engineering school.
Wow.
And I, as it turns out, fucking hated engineering.
Ain't that a bitch?
It is a bitch, but not as much as I actually liked the intro to mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
I had the best time. I was like, this is cool. And they're like, you need to take physics 1 through 5 and chem 1 through 5, and I was horrible at all of it. But you did engineering too, you said, in college?
Are we on?
Yeah, no, we just dive bomb right in.
Shit. Oh yeah, man. That's what's weird, because I did engineering, and I was like, man, I can't create nothing new. And then I went into art, but I always wanted to do art.
So I did exactly the same shit you did.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't afford to go to art school. I would have went to SCAD or something like that, right? And so I just ended up doing. And I already excelled at like math and English, you know. And it's Georgia, so that's whatever, you know what I mean? I mean, that's like learning to speak, you know, a Southern finishing school. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, and we did these labs, which was cool. And I think like that's why I do a lot of work on my car or troubleshooting, and I'm a fan of reprogramming like ECUs.
Oh,
like
really? So
features,
do you do that? Do you do ECU tuning?
I did it to my Beamer. Not easy. I'm just on features. I'm not going too deep when I see guys look at the charts. And you know, but I do have it's something about patterns I like, which is weird.
That's okay.
Like they jump out to me, like the patterns in this room, or the lines of a car, the city lines, and
like A Beautiful Mind. Like, man, fucking Russell Crowe.
Kind of. Sometimes if I'm on shrooms, definitely when some shrooms kick in. But yeah, that's what's interesting, because when I walked in here, that was the first thing I noticed was the structure. I was like, man, this is a solid building. I mean,
angles and steel
just
and
what
concrete.
It's made out of. Yeah. It's just such solid material that it's like.
It feels very dense, which we like.
Yeah.
That's what you want in here. They made us do all this earthquake shit. You know, it's got to be really resistant to seismic. And, you know, each of these trays holds 6,000 pounds. So you're talking about 24,000 pounds on 4, 1 by 1 foot posts in a fucking earthquake. Like,
now, did you have to talk like metal material? Like you can do with the steel, or you can go with the palladium for.
I didn't have any options. They decided all of that. The regulations decided all of that for us.
Wow.
So you can look around this building and see little bits of like my input and creativity.
Yeah. But
you also see a lot of things that were really regulation driven for safety and structure and whatnot. Yeah.
I definitely see.
You see safety and shit.
I
for
see
sure.
safety. I see, like I say, I see the ends of the pipes, how they tapped off, and they using the same colors. And I'm like, you didn't do this yourself. You know? Like I bought my car, I ran over a rock, and I immediately put some black tape over it.
On the corner of the rim.
That's what's good about, engineering or doing like certain work yourself. You know what's needed and what's not, or like let's see what happens in 6 months.
That's right.
Before I replace it.
And it's important to know I need that addressed now.
Yeah.
It's also good.
Yeah. I was driving a press car last week. We had a Mazda 3. They can't all be McLarens. And so we had a Mazda 3 touring press car. It's really nice, actually. There's a video coming out. But the night of the fucking horrible rain, whatever, 4 or 5 nights ago, the worst rain night, I decide we're not going to use Uber Eats tonight. I'm going to go pick up the ramen in Culver City.
Wow.
I'm going to get the ramen, and I get a fucking flat tire. I hit a palm front, and it just blew out the tire. And so I'm 4.5 miles from my house, and I hit it, and I was like, oh shit, I hit something. But I checked the steering, and like, okay, it's fine. And I get there to the restaurant, I park, and I hear, psst, and then it just goes, ding, no tire pressure. Like, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
and you hear it.
I hear it, but I don't want to. I'm not going to stand on the side of the road and change a tire in this sheeting downpour. So I fucking decided that I will YOLO this thing back to my house. I drove it on the flat, no run flats, just straight down Washington home. And it was all good. I'm really glad I made that decision.
That's a
Ate
good
hot
point.
ramen.
That's a good point, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm concerned about my wheels now, because the face is so flat that if I get a flat, I just can't drive it.
Did you buy the car like that with those wheels on
Yeah,
it?
of course. And I look like I put the wheels on it. You know
God
what I mean?
damn it. Well, thanks for saying it so I don't have to.
Well, I've
No.
been in the game a while.
No.
I'm old enough to know what it is.
It's got what we would call a bit of a stretch look, bit of a stretch tire. So, yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
the face of the wheel kind of sticks out, leaving you no real cushion if you get a
No real
flat.
cushion to get a flat. Or if you make a sharp turn, and I'm taking it through the canyons, and I'll turn, and then it'll lean a little bit more. So, and I'm coming from like fat tires. you
Yeah,
know?
no. Well, we're going to set you up with Alan and Patrick at HRE, and we're going to get you a really nice set of flow form wheels that are light and strong
Yeah.
and the right size for your car, and it's going to drive awesome.
Oh, good.
'Cause in
Make
the
sure
corners, like,
make
leaning
sure
over
they're
on the sidewalk.
affordable too for my level of.
We
talent.
will, your level of,
I just saw me with my shirt off.
your
I was
level
like,
of fame.
Yeah, my level of fame.
Your level
will
of
be
fame will have it. I like the Philly shirt now that I know it's a Philly
Yeah.
shirt. I feel a little Philly pride. Are you from? You're not from Philly at
Not
all,
from
right?
Philly, but we talking cars. I had shot a film that's coming out in April.
Is that what you had your period piece haircut for a couple weeks ago?
No, this is a film about. I don't know if you know, in North Philly, they actually got concrete cowboys. So it's a film with me and Idris Elba and
What is the term concrete cowboys? I feel dumb for not knowing
cowboys
this.
that's in the city.
Oh yeah, the urban cowboys.
Yeah.
I do know about the urban cowboys,
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah,
in
sorry.
North
yeah.
Philly, in Strawberry Mansion, they have stables in like an abandoned building.
Yeah.
And so I am in this film, and I actually race a horse against Idris Elba in this.
Whoa.
Really? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
Did you learn to ride for it? Do you already know how to ride?
you know what? I really didn't know how to ride, and we took a few hours of horse training.
Mm-hmm.
But through the power of Hollywood,
That does not seem like enough.
Did you green screen the race?
no.
Oh, they just made it look awesome.
They made it look awesome.
Okay, cool.
But what we did definitely was a workout on my legs that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
And there's certain things I'm learning, like these. I don't want to call them like I would call them like white extracurricular activities, but the ones that take money,
Yeah, yeah.
But like horse riding and skiing, which I also done, you have to really have, I guess, a proper stance. Like,
right.
I'm
It's
flat-footed.
this. It's the squat. It's
The squat
squatting and shit.
like
yeah.
if you flat-footed and played basketball your whole life, and then you get out on a horse and you ski and you need your heels,
Yeah, yeah.
then it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
And your thighs, I got tiny legs, and they like just squeeze the horse with your thighs. It's a 2,000-pound animal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm moving. I'm like doing this on it, which you're really not supposed to do, because I'm like I'm in the weight room with like 10
You're like
pounds,
squat thrust.
and the horse is just not moving, So yeah, that was my training.
My sister grew up with riding horses her whole life, and it is a real, actual, like, athletic activity to do it, all day and for any kind of endurance.
Can you
Man.
explain what the concrete cowboys are, though?
They're literally cowboys in the city.
But like, what do they do? What is their purpose there?
It's a style.
I mean, I think it's like how we ride cars, and Philly in certain
shit.
places have bike issues, right? So I mean, you got these guys who put the bike 12 o'clock
Right.
in Philly, in these cities where they not. Well, I don't know the laws, but they got weird laws against.
You definitely can't do 12 o'clock boy shit in
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah, it's a mob of guys. My first time landing in Philly, I was on like Columbus Street or some street named after some president, because everything old as hell out there. I don't even know.
No, Philly's is an old place.
yeah.
Bro, if you ever took history or fell asleep doing history and then you walk through Philly, I mean, you could feel it. Like
Yeah.
the cobblestone streets, and dudes wore stockings and heels. And like they dressed like you could tell like they would just spit tobacco and all type of shit, right?
My boy has a restaurant in Philly that was in a building that was built in like 1780.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You feel it there.
Yeah.
And I remember I just heard, yeah. I'm in an Uber coming to the airport, and I look in the back, and it's like 14 bikes, and these guys are up, just coming down this long stretch of Philly. And it's like slow motion to me. Like the first time, like you in the film watching it, the first time you see it go by, because this is everything that you were told that you shouldn't do
Right.
in the city. And these boys, and it reminds me of like, I guess like when we was out New Year's with the cars, and we just going through the canyons, you know.
Oh my God! Remember that day? What a shit show in the canyons it was. But in the
busy.
city, it's real. When it's a mob and it's bikes and and they're like,
Yeah.
not just okay, we're gonna go fast now. It's like we're gonna go fast and be fucking super intimidating to
Yeah.
everybody. Like that's
block
the
traffic
thing.
and do wheelies. Have you
Yeah.
seen that documentary, The 12 O'Clock Boys?
I've seen it,
It's an
man.
amazing movie.
And that, I mean,
I saw a guy in
just to-
Detroit going down Cadillac Avenue at 12 o'clock on an ATV. Like just
Yeah.
a straight,
Wow.
just and holding it for blocks
Yeah.
and blocks
Just
and
got
blocks.
to balance out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm like, that's bravery.
yeah.
I'm like, but just to get back, like these guys,
What does that do with Cowboys, though?
I'm getting to that. Because I know the guys who ride the horses ride the bikes, but just as intense, like standing up on a horse, you know what I mean? With no hands.
Walking
and like,
down
right,
Benjamin
right.
Franklin Parkway on
Yeah.
2 legs on the horse.
And they do, look,
The Cowboys
they
on
do
a horse
tricks.
doing like a Christ.
yeah, they doing tricks on these horses, and it started like some of these guys are inner city troubled youth, right? Like the organization that did this film. So it keeps a lot of these guys out of trouble, because just like how in Cali you got a little emotional support dog, think of a big emotional support dog, and you got to feed it, and you got to learn how much it takes to like take care of a horse.
Taking care of horses is kind of awesome.
And these guys are huge. When I seen them, and some of these guys, I'm like, how am I supposed to play this person?
They're moving hay, right? They're
Yeah,
throwing hay around.
they carrying water buckets every day,
Yeah.
and they shoveling like hay with shit in it, and they just like one of my double in the film is like he's like double my size.
You're carrying like
Literally
an Evian.
stunt double.
Yeah, it's like it's weird to see, you know what I mean? Like
That's hilarious.
and the women too, you know, everybody, you know, just in shape, like and they in the city.
When I used to go to camp, like when I was a kid and I went to camp, they had, I didn't like riding, but they had horses at the camp
Yeah.
and people you could ride. I signed up to take care of the horses every fucking day. I didn't want to ride them, but I really enjoyed like taking care of them, being around
Yeah.
them. Like they make a horse. I mean, obviously crazy expensive in every way,
Yeah.
but a horse is a great pet.
It's very interesting, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you connect with one. I had to make sure I connect with mine, because I kept thinking of these, like, I kept thinking Superman while I was out
What's
there.
his name? Lord of the Rings. Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen bought his horse from the production after Lord of the Rings, and it's like now his horse.
It's like
Man.
Tanner bought that
And
car after Top Gear America. You know, they all did. Tanner and Rutledge, they're like, yeah, I want the Camaro,
Yeah.
I want the
I
Nova.
mean, it's scary, because they say you're going to fall. That's like when you drive, they
And
like,
you're
you
gonna fall
crash.
far as fuck.
Yeah, 10 feet. So I'm like, I got to make sure I connect with my horse. But anyway, these guys, like, they ride through the city, you know, and they'll do races. Like how you got illegal car races, they race like against the other
Fucking horse race
against the
down
other stable
in
Like
the city?
They'll take it in the woods.
Okay, I was going to say,
Because you know,
Bro,
like
you and me, the woods, back of the art
Yeah.
museum. Winner buys fucking hoagies for everybody.
oh, it's beer. It's beer.
It's beer as well.
And think how people tune their cars and do it. So now you finna see how good you are at breaking a horse.
Oh boy,
'Cause-
really?
Yeah, because you got people with money who grew up around horses, and they horses are in a stable.
Oh, so now we need to know about the gambling.
right.
Yeah.
Well, now we need to know about performance modifications,
Yeah.
what kind of shoes that horse is running.
And it's different breeds.
Of course.
So you
Right.
could tell
Yeah.
one horse for racing, this horse is a fighter horse or whatever. And
Boxing horse.
the Shetland ponies, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean? They had a Shetland pony out there, which is like a low rider. In
Yeah,
a
it's like a
sense.
mini horse. Yeah, they're great.
And,
they're great.
and then every stable got that horse that you don't want to fuck with.
That's hilarious.
Like he'll bite you. He kick everybody that comes around. And if you could ride him, like you the man.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like it's a very interesting culture, man.
Is the movie a period piece or a current?
No, it's current.
Oh, cool.
It's
That's a
current.
fucking horse movie in Philly based today.
It's like
That's awesome.
To me, it's a heist movie, a father and son movie, and a street movie all in one
With horses.
with horses.
Interesting. How interesting.
Like a coming of age, like a kid who almost won't make a bad decision, but he get into the horse, You know, just like Karate Kid
Yeah,
got into
yeah,
karate. We all had our things, right? You know.
Yeah.
Some people got into porn. Some people got into video games.
Well, you got to care for the porn. You
Yeah.
got to feed the porn.
You got a collection.
raise
Really
the porn.
nurture that. I had a Tamagotchi, you know,
Oh, yeah.
And, Japanese porn, you know.
the hentai.
Yeah, man, it's interesting because you got like I said, you got people with money who got the stables, and then the hood people rescue horses. So they horses are rescue, and they had to break those horses.
Interesting.
And the people who like might be more trained, they might use spurs on their horse. But the people who rescue their horses like, nah, you don't stick no horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
This horse is like my homie. This horse is gonna take care of me. Yeah, yeah.
If you do the right thing. So it's like a battle of that going on out there.
Wow. I picture the 12 o'clock boys like motorcycle gang and the horse people like meeting up to dance fight.
Like
or
West Side Story, right.
something. Like imagine a takeover in an intersection. It's like guys drifting and then this horse like jumping over.
That's what dressage needs, because dressage is in the Olympics, but it needs more burnouts.
I'll tell you, I don't care where. I don't like even in this day, right? We could be anywhere, but if 14 people on horses show up, it's gonna look scary.
Yeah.
It's gonna look
Because
scary.
historically, it's axes, swords, muskets, various other
do they
attire.
dress like traditional cowboys?
Nah, man, they wear Nikes and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They wear Nikes and everything.
Just straight Mitchell and Ness jerseys and
something, yeah. Like they got do rags and braids.
Yeah.
One dude, man.
that would bug me the fuck out if a gang of dudes in Mitchell and Ness and do-rags rolled up on horses. I'd be
You can find
confused
these.
as
You can
fuck.
find these pictures online. They had McDonald's drive-throughs with gold teeth. You know what I mean? Because Alabama got one also. Compton got a Concrete Cowboys. So it's like,
Interesting.
you know, historically, some of these places used to, you know, these people transferred people, groceries, you know, before cars. So some of these traditions, you know,
Is it the movie called Concrete Cowboy?
yeah.
Oh, cool. There's a movie still right there.
I'm in.
Are you in that scene there?
that one? Yeah.
There he is.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool as hell, man. I love
Method
that.
Man, you know, is in there.
Oh, Method Man fucking rules.
Yeah.
How's he to work with?
Man, he's one of the coolest cats I met, and I think he's like a kindred spirit. to
Yeah?
me. Yeah. Because we was able to, you know, talk about like where we from. You know, he's from the north, I'm from the south. I think we got similar, like, you know, traumatic experiences, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's funny, man. He's like, I think he should have a show of his own or something. I mean, he's very funny and talented, and he would rap between takes.
Just randomly, just
Yeah,
fucking...
just I guess it keeps his energy up and like, but I mean, this is like he's spitting like some cold shit.
Does he seem like kind of like older, wiser Method Man now? Or is he kind of like still like Wu-Tang guy?
It's a blend of both. It's like to me, it's like Superman mastering his identities.
Yeah.
So when he needs to be that guy, it could come out, you know.
Yeah.
And it's it's a peacefulness to it.
That's awesome.
Knowing that any will,
That's
he
awesome.
could just literally like verbally kill somebody.
He's so fucking talented, dude.
Yeah.
Like, go back and listen to his stuff. He's just so good.
And it hit me watching him like, oh, rappers can really learn scripts.
Yeah, probably.
They can learn scripts.
They're like, this is way
Like,
easier
really
than
Easily.
my
Yeah,
head.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Wow, you know. So
That's
yeah, I was
cool.
blown away by it. I was blown away by it. And check this out. This is the craziest shit. One weekend we had off from filming, him and Redman did a show at the amphitheater
What?
in Philly. And you know, he called me downstairs and I hop in a Splinter with him and we all go to the show. And it's like the 90s all over.
Oh, man.
Except we all adults now. Like I'm seeing all the baby mamas in Philly out and they all rapping like all, you know, rock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. I know exactly what you
Rottweiler.
mean.
So good.
The same people that were at a Wu-Tang show
Yeah.
in 1997 are here now.
Here now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the energy is live and the you know, yeah, the green room is crazy.
I bet.
Coming from comedy,
Oh, my God. A
which
Method
we
Man,
like,
a Red Man
we like
green
this
room.
green room, and it's like, you know, and then you get in a rapper's green room, it's like, don't let no more people in. Who are you? You know, it's just but it was some of rap legends there, because this was like a 90s. Like, it just wasn't them. It was like a lot of
Was it Philly people, too? Like Philly rappers?
It was some Philly rappers. It was a lot of big New York like OGs there.
That's
It
awesome.
was like a '90s tour kind of thing going on.
Yeah, for that
Okay.
thing, and I mean, there was people that with that one pant leg rolled up.
Yeah.
with the goggles on to the side, but they got gray hair now. I was like
wow, like a walking period
this is
piece.
crazy. This is crazy.
The goggles.
Yeah, the goggles.
Did you ever do? Did you ever go goggles?
No, that's too New York. I didn't understand it where I'm from.
I'm from New York, and I didn't
Yeah.
get the goggles.
I didn't know. I like it must be real cold up there. And
I never really saw a lot of people with the goggles actually on their eyes. It was really a forehead kind of.
But look, we wore visors upside down in the South.
Oh yeah,
We did.
Yeah. You guys had your own shit.
Yeah.
And Chris Cross tried to make the fucking backwards clothes thing happen for a second.
Man,
The goggles.
I had overalls then.
Bro, I can't look. I didn't know. There's a picture. Did you see that picture of me from the '90s in the elevator?
No.
The picture of me from the '90s. I'm Smash Mouth right here.
Wow.
I'm Greenwich, Connecticut, Dave Matthews here, and then below the waist, I'm 9 Inch Nails, combat boots, Jinkos. I was a rule of thirds.
Look, man, I mess with Jinkos. I ain't gonna even front.
Did you have the big bottoms?
Man, yeah, because I couldn't get, after a while, we were just like, how baggy are we going to go? And then
60-inch bottoms.
I would put rubber bands on the bottom and then put high tops on to make it look like,
They went into the pants?
man. Yeah.
No, for us, it was about when the bottoms got big, when you'd walk, you wouldn't even see the pants move. You'd look like a witch just
Yeah.
gliding across the
I remember
ground.
that look. Because I would go to Hot Topic. I don't even know if I can say the N-word on here. Well, I'm probably one of the only N-word.
You can. We
You can.
That's
I
fine.
ain't
Is this going to be
saying
a
nothing.
verse?
Say in a
playing.
couple years, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was probably one of the first niggas that I know around that would go to Hot Topic and get like these leather
the cuffs.
bracelets
Yeah,
with
the
the
cuffs.
nail on it with the belt to match, just to be like on some different type of.
You brought
different type of stuff.
a little goth to your game.
Well, I was dark anyway, so it just. I mean, people already thought I was slightly weird, so I just did it enough.
That's fun.
Yeah, so
That's fun. I shopped at Hot Topic too. Yeah. Doc Martens, Hot Topic, Hair
Yeah.
Dye. I was there.
they had a run, man. Doc Martens.
Is
Oh,
Hot
yeah.
Topic the
Still
next
going.
meme stock?
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't know. I'm not Republic.
Did
yeah.
anybody do GameStop?
No.
I watched it.
I laughed. I once I understood what was happening,
Yeah.
I found it very funny.
It was like a game. It was like watching a Super Bowl or something. To me. And I realized because the market, I ain't gonna front, the market helped me out last year. You know, during
Good
COVID.
for you.
As you can see, I'm riding a little bit now.
You have come up, sir.
Yeah.
You have a very beautiful watch. You have a very
thank
beautiful
you.
car. You are a man of taste.
Thank you.
You have
Slowly
come up
but
since the
surely.
last time you were on this show.
This is old though. I just
New old watch.
yeah, this is old. I had it a while. I just dumbed it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I saw that, and I follow a group online, EYL, a bunch of brothers talking about money.
What's
investment.
EYL stand for?
Earn your leisure.
Oh,
Like how to buy
Yeah.
back your time.
I like that.
They're big.
It's a good philosophy.
Only been going for 2 years. They number 3 in
Really?
business.
On
Yeah.
what platform?
As far as I know, they're everywhere now, but it started on YouTube. That what caught
Okay.
my eye. And
Okay.
it's a movement going on in the black community becoming financial literate, right?
Yeah.
Us not having access to simple stuff.
Yeah.
Being scared of the market when the market has always went up.
Right.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was
I'm not going to take that from you, but I think it's a great idea.
look, when I moved to LA, I was in my car in 2009, right? This is before we met, before I got the 944. I slept in my car. It was bad in LA. 3 people in a studio apartment. I moved here in a financial crisis. And I remember reading that Goldman Sachs had one of the best years ever. And their whole thing was to make profit even when the world is doing bad. And that never left me. So during this time, when everything was going to shit, and
Yeah.
I got one check that was a nice size, I was like, I got to put this in the market.
Yeah, yeah.
So my instincts was like Apple and Tesla. And that's what I did. You know
That
what I
probably
mean?
worked out for you.
I mean, it ain't bad, but I waited because I got nervous. I didn't know about the market, and I was like, let me educate myself, and Tesla just did this.
Yeah, you
But-
got a winner on that one.
But I still was able to get in and get a kind of a nice, what I would consider a nice return. but it was more than what I would do if I did stand-up. And I was like, damn, stand-up was holding me back the whole time. Because it's almost people reverted back to what they was doing before stand-up.
Right.
And so I got interested back in cars in the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
you should have the market stabilize your stand-up career.
I am.
So you're good.
I'm also taking a lightweight, taking a futures course too.
Are you? I mean, dude, you're
in case
good for
Hollywood don't
you.
pan out, I could make money on demand. That's crazy. You could do that.
Good for you.
But
man.
with the GameStop thing, I knew something was. If everything went wrong, the company couldn't sustain. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not like Apple. Like you can't do this type of thing with Apple because Apple got so much cash reserves.
Yeah,
Right.
GameStop could disappear and people wouldn't really notice at this point. It's just a retailer.
And by the time I got caught up in this with weed stocks, I realized that was I pay attention to patterns. So I'm like, man, by the time I found out, it's already too late. So I went to my virtual account and played with GameStops. And I went to my real
you're
account.
like your play account, your fake money. Yeah.
And then I went to my real account and I got the word on the day no kill was going up, and it had already shot up, and then it went back down. I remember putting a stop on it. I bought it at $6.51, and it going up to like $9, and I was like, let's see if it run up. And I was like, if it go back down to $7, I've already put it automatically to sell, and it did. So I made pennies, but those pennies allowed me to get into some genetic thing.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Dude, I mean,
so I'm learning.
You're
yeah.
you're really smart. You're
I don't know
really
if
smart.
I'm smart. I think I do. I feel lucky that I pay attention to certain things.
Yeah. And I mean, just back where you were 3 minutes ago about financial literacy, earning your time back.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great attitude to have about someone who's in the gig economy, primarily.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
one of the big things. One of the big benefits they say about wealth is that you can buy your time. Like you can only get so much stuff. You can only drive so many cars at a time. But at least you can free up as much free time as possible.
Speak for yourself. No,
Right? Yeah.
know,
But it's not like having 50 watches is the best part of being wealthy. It's like you don't have to attend to these tasks. You can get your financial freedom and you can choose what you want to do with your day or your month.
That's what I do for my customers here.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? My customers, you don't end up with cars like that without being busy,
That's
typically,
true.
or inheriting the money. But
yeah.
but also busy. And so we save people, time that don't have time. They want to have time to own multiple cars, but they don't have the time to deal with multiple cars. So
I meet guys who inherit money now, and I'm like, now what?
Yeah.
Because this grind, like the more, and I guess with any grind, I'm realizing it's certain things you learn coming from where I'm from. Like we view failure, we taught failure wrong, right? And even in engineering or whatever, like if you fail, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just
You just learned a way to not do it.
To not do it, you know, or like you just keep applying something different. Or this might not be my thing. So that is the beauty of like, I guess after you're 25 to like 35 or whatever, and it's like, oh, if you aware you do certain right by the time you reach a certain age, and you're more peaceful anyway, certain things will come into play, and it just start making sense and start clicking.
Yeah.
Our brains work much better after 25 than they do before that.
And you ain't gonna trick out the money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once I kind of started, like, being like, okay, I'm not, like, responsible for how I ended up necessarily here, but I am responsible for what I do with it. Like, because you and I are basically from, like, opposite places. Like,
Yeah.
I come from money. And, like, okay, like, I'm sorry, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about that other than to try not to be a shitbag and try to take care of my employees and try to be a good friend, be a good husband, recognize my privilege, which is substantial.
That's hard to me.
What? Recognizing privilege?
Yeah, because you can't. Like, if I made some money right now, I could just do all type of crazy shit that you can't do. Like, I meet people who have that guilt.
Yeah.
I even wrote a joke about it. Like, man, if black people would have did slavery, it would not be a such thing as black guilt. Like we already writing songs about
That's funny.
the crazy shit we do, and we dancing to it in the club. So slavery would be like an actual dance move.
That's hilarious. That's true.
At the club,
To
if
the
we
slave
did-
master.
Yeah, if we did, whip that bill. Wow. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's fucked up.
So
That's funny.
But I mean, that's just because, and that, to me, I realize that's privilege of being on the other side. You know, and I've been. That's what I'm saying. Being aware that I don't think a lot of people are. It's privileges on both sides. You know, and it's privilege to being an American.
I mean, look,
a lot of people don't know.
White male American, born into some money. That's like a pretty. That's a pretty fucking lottery win right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I was in Dominican Republic, and this black dude asked me for some money, a Haitian, and I was like, man, I ain't got it. I ain't come here for all that. That's what I told him. Look, man, I'm here to like take advantage of these sales y'all got going on. And he was like, fair enough. And you see these guys, they're on the streets until they become. You know, it's people that I went with that travel been there so many times. They watch these kids grow up.
Yeah.
And the dude said to me, he was like, man, he's like, where you from? Like, I'm from Atlanta. I live in Cali now. He's like, man, it's crazy what's going on over there. And he's like, it goes on over here too. And he was like, look at these scars. You know, they police whipping our ass like every day. And he's like, but the crazy part is, I mean, y'all got a chance to make it over there.
It seemed to them.
Like,
it seemed like there was an opportunity.
It's still an opportunity to do things over here that they don't have. And I remember like staring out at the beach, at the ocean when he said that, and I was like, man, take this $5. You know what I mean? You right, man. Come back and holler at me later on. And then like I've been lucky enough to go to like you know. Palestine, Israel, and these Middle East and all these places, and realize like some of the privilege we have. And when you put out a blue passport, I don't care where you're going, your passport blue, people look at you like you've done something in their country.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, I am an American. And I was in London, I performed, and I was the only black person on the show. And somebody was looking for me, and they didn't ask who was the black guy on the show. They like, what was the American that was on the show?
Interesting.
And it's like, yeah, that comes with something, especially during the last, during 45.
A few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you say come with something, do you mean comes with hey, what the fuck is wrong with your country?
Yeah.
You need to explain this to us. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's...
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, it's privilege. I think it's privileges on both sides.
Well, it's relative privilege, right? It's comparison. I feel like I have privilege relative to some people in this country, whereas other people in this country have privilege relative to some other places, and they have privilege relative. There's like, it gets pretty bad for some people in the world.
And it don't end. Because I know you, and you're in this business, I know it's people you come across that look at you like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I'm down here, like I'm parking their car.
Yeah, you're the version of that,
right?
Because I knew somebody who grew up wealthy, or they was well off, but they still had to get a job.
Me too.
Right?
Oh, dude, my dad was a CEO of Foot Locker when I was growing up, and I worked at fucking Foot Locker. I had the ref's jersey, and I sold shoes every Saturday and Sunday, all 4 years of high school, and for a year and a half after that. So, like, I fucking sold shoes. I put shoes on people's feet for not full time, but enough that I understood, I think, a little bit about
that's what I'm saying.
What retail shitty work is like,
That's the thing. I was gonna ask, but did you work with Kevin Hart? But I'm pretty sure you remember that. Did
he work at Foot Locker?
He worked there. He sold shoes too.
Oh, really? No, I didn't work with any future celebrities as far as I know. I did sell a couple of celebrity shoes. I sold Judge Judy shoes back in the day.
What kind of shoes?
What did she wear?
Fucking sneakers.
But I'm saying, like,
sneakers.
what though? Like some
like ladies aerobic
some
sneakers.
Reeboks.
Yeah, who knows? Some shit.
Classic Reebok. Okay.
You know what I was selling a lot of? Because I was there 96 to 2000. So I was selling Jordans, obviously. The Nike Tuned Airs. Remember the Tuned Air? They're kind of a mesh with like a spider web looking vein.
Oh, yeah.
They came after the 95s.
Wow,
the clear plastic toe. I sold 1 million of them.
Wow.
And yeah, we sold a lot. I was good at selling shoes, actually. I was pretty decent.
That makes lots of sense.
Pretty decent shoe salesman.
When I hear
I'm
people
good
who
at
used to
selling
sell
stuff.
shoes and they successful, I'm like, man, I should have sold shoes. You know?
I mean, I think having that front of house retail experience, you know, with customers, like serving food or bartending, and you know, it's a certain level of hustle that comes with that.
I was bad, man. I couldn't hold the job down.
No?
No.
I mean, my dad was a CEO of the company, so I probably couldn't have got fired if I tried, but I didn't try.
Did you have to create a fake name to go in to get the job?
No, I mean, there definitely were people that kind of sneered at me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they realized I wasn't really a shitbag, and I did work hard, and I wasn't taking advantage of something,
man.
and then I was okay.
I would have been a shitbag, probably.
I tried not to be a shitbag.
See, with me, my dad went crazy, but I didn't know he was crazy, and he blamed his job for it. So I already came up like, oh, I'm not finna do. Look what money do to people.
Yeah.
Like the chasing money, like that's crazy. But yeah, that I had the opposite effect on me though. But my dad was successful for the town. Like I said, I found out he drove a like a little Tiger. You know what I mean? Which is
A
weird.
Sunbeam Tiger? Those are cool.
No, my bad, a midget.
Oh, an MG midget. Yeah.
He had a maroon midget in a small town in Georgia.
Well, that's
which
an
is
interesting choice.
And
yeah.
then I remember him
It's
driving.
like a Vermont college professor's car.
And I'm like, this had to be some. I just found this out last week. I'm like, this had to be some a Navy influence.
Maybe. Was he in the Navy?
Yeah, he was in the Navy.
Yeah, so he went over to Europe and saw some cool little
Saw
cars,
something
and
and,
yeah.
He was like, oh, these turn and stop. Can we
There you
get this
go,
back in the
little
States?
maroon midget.
Yeah. I was like, man, he could have left. I could have kept that car. You know.
You could get one of those right now if you wanted. We could find you a midget if you really wanted one.
Nah, I'm good on that. But when I was like, he had a silver RX-7.
Oh, okay.
With, he played New Edition. I remember that, you know, during those times. But
You had a couple cool cars.
yeah,
all right.
but I mean, I was like 10, and he was finna buy me a motorcycle. So I knew I would have been an asshole, like spoiled kid if he didn't go crazy. It was gonna be on.
Because he was going to throw money at you. And you'd be like, yes, please.
My dad got a photo album with women he smashed with like 100-something women in there,
Seriously?
and I'm part of that lineage.
Oh, what does that mean? Like somewhere in there is your mom? What does that mean?
I didn't see my mom.
What is that?
Please show him that picture.
I thought about it. I was like, because I had to look through it with my sister one time. We didn't know. It started with family photos, and we turned the page. It's a whole.
Oh my God, it was the same album?
It was a.
He's
it's
got
a
to buy
whole
2
story.
albums. That's,
You got to
rule
separate
one.
the
You gotta-
binders,
Well, here's
maybe,
the thing.
right?
Like he's schizophrenic. So this is one thing he carry around. I guess that reminds him of like
Oh,
a good time in my
yeah.
mind. So yeah, it was old family photos, and then me and my sister was looking through it, and then we just kept turning, and it was this.
Oh my God, that's great.
Same
Were they
position.
like they were like
Yeah.
they were like action photos?
No, they weren't action photos, but it was like women just posing.
Oh.
Apparently he got this one style he likes,
He's a
which is like the
photographer.
spread eagle.
It's like a
Yeah, and these
like a
old
Terry
photos.
Richardson kind of thing.
Yeah, and people had developed these,
Yeah. You had to
And,
bring them to the lab.
and like it was a lot of bush, a lot of bush.
You
back
could really
then.
date them.
Yeah, I say it's like a pussy hair evolutionary chart.
Yeah.
You know, because the hair gets shorter and shorter as you turn.
Okay, so we went from about 78 to 93 here.
Yeah. You could tell, like, this is when I knew when Paige, the Jerry curl, became popular.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like rings on a tree.
Yeah, so, and I'm looking at my sisters right there. Me and my sister got a different dad, by the way. So his dad was embarrassing. And
Like,
then,
oh, guess point for your dad.
yeah. And
Her dad's album just had photos of like landscapes and mountains.
yeah,
and things.
probably.
It's like Norman Rockwell shit.
He ran
Oh my God,
every
that's
day.
not-
You know, her dad would
Did you
run
know he
4
was
miles.
schizophrenic when you were younger, or is that something you learned like later?
I learned it was an incident. It was an incident that I went to see him, and then he kind of put me on the wall.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "I know you telling people that I'm out here hurting these ladies, but I didn't hurt that lady."
Oh
He
shit.
was like, "I just did it like this," and he put me on the wall, and he was like, "But it ain't your fault. You could tell them. You just trying to do the right thing." He's like, "They can come for me. I got something for him." And he went to, like, you see how you got these these tiles. And he went into like he pulled like a tile over and 2 Uzis. He just pulled down 2 Uzis.
Oh shit!
And I was like, you just remaining calm, like.
Oh my God!
At the time. And then I told my grandfather, and he was like, I don't think you should see your dad for a while.
To call that an incident is really underselling it. That's scary as hell.
There's other incidents that was scary.
Really?
But
more than the 2 Uzis in the ceiling?
I mean, just throughout life, just living. You're trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
I think a guy's life, especially in a city between 18 and 25, it can go either way. Mm-hmm. Because you leave with no. That was a nice.
Sorry, that was my whiskey glass on a Shore SM7B. Sorry,
that was a nice sound.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, life could go either way. It's about making decisions and like.
It could be like one decision. It could be like a half a decision.
Hey, look,
you could be like in the car with someone who makes the fucking bad decision, and your shit can be super fucked.
It's tense. It's tense moments. So luckily, I have good instincts because I definitely almost been in some places where doors were kicked in, and everybody went to jail.
Bro, even starting from where I started from, because I sold weed and mushrooms in college at my fucking Ivy League university.
Oh.
And
first off, I don't agree with it, but if you're going to do it, you definitely want to hook somebody, an unsure person at 18, because you can have a customer for the next 20 years. I dabbled in crack my freshman year.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Talking about tense times.
Is it possible to dabble in crack?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I just watched the crack documentary on whatever it's on, and it was fucking extremely gnarly. And
it's look, man, that's a whole nother podcast.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
But it's enough. You dabble in enough to be like, I'm gonna tell you what I learned. I mean, it's a few major things I learned. One, this is a setup. This stuff is coming in from somewhere, and they gonna move us. I remember just my instincts or my gut or the universe, like they can move us off the street.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna be replaced by a whole nother group of people. And I was in a town where they had a pharmaceutical company, and I remember standing across the street looking at the pharmaceutical company, and I was like, while I'm having this other epiphany, it was like, this is it. This is the way you do it, right?
You think it was coming? Oh, you mean if you really wanted to?
Like they're winning.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical company is. Yeah,
they're manufacturing in it.
Well, your instinct wasn't entirely wrong about the crack either, because the fucking Iran-Contra affair, the government was funding Nicaraguan fucking rebels who were sending back coke, which was becoming crack in the empty planes in the fucking triangle for guns and money. It was crazy.
And I was at a Christian school, college, and it was only 13 black people there.
13? How many people in the whole school?
I don't know, maybe like 500 or something small.
You really rolled the fucking dice, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
You dove into a really scary stereotype.
And then at night I would do this. I would wake up at 6, lift weights for basketball training, and I saw like certain athletes, the stars, got better treatment. I'm like, how can I survive this? And then I got presented with this opportunity, and because I was a very alert person.
Yeah.
Like if anybody walked in the room with a gun, I could see it. Whether it was under their shirt, I knew every exit. Yeah. And who knew that? That was probably the paranoia of being a little kid in the city. But that skill was needed.
Yeah.
So
I sold a lot of weed and I sold a lot of mushrooms. And what I learned, I didn't analyze it then. I analyzed it later. Penn had a private police force. So if you were a student and you got caught by the Penn cops, those weren't real cops. And you would never be reported to the real police, the city police. But if some Philly local was on the street slinging bags, they're going to the real cops. Yep. So it was like drug dealer bumper bowling. You couldn't get in trouble. My friends would get busted with enormous quantities of weed and be sentenced to on-campus community service and have no record. And so at the time, I was like, holy shit, free for all. Yeah. You can't get in trouble. Make that money. And later, I was like, oh my God, like they basically set up a system where if you could get into this school, you had a bumper bowling system for being a criminal until you got out. Because they didn't want you to ruin your good boy life.
Yeah.
Because you're a good boy with futures. And meanwhile, what would happen to people just outside my window on the street, they're getting cuffed and thrown into real police cars and getting locked up. And I took advantage of that while I was there. And I had police come into, I had dumb friends doing dumb shit, college shit.
Of course.
While I was holding massive quantities and growing in my closet. And multiple times I had police enter my apartment and I was able to talk them into leaving with nothing happening. I got right up close to that level of trouble. Real police, not cops police, but fucking privilege.
And you build a skill set.
Now I can sell parking spaces.
Now you can sell parking spaces now.
Yeah.
And that is some of the point, you know what I mean? That's how life works. That's how, I'm already like, I ain't gonna say my mind is traumatic, but to last year I realized like, when I was in a relationship, my lady was like, this is what normal people do. I'm like, look, you can skip all that normal shit. I mean, my reality is already off.
I'm working with what I got here.
Yeah, I'm working with what I got. And I ain't doing too bad. But when people would say that's wrong, that Penn had their own police, a person like me said this is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. Like I stopped being mad about, and the overseas stuff's helped when I said how privileged we are. I stopped being mad about racism when I see it everywhere and certain these institutionalized things when I see it in other countries, and just accept it. All right, this is what's going on. Now live within it.
Okay.
These are the rules. These are the boundaries. Now go. So I don't complain about it no more or none of that. My focus is just, and that's what crazy it is. That's what I had to do to like move forward. Mm-hmm. And now I live in a neighborhood that has security 24 hours that patrol, and they are that buffer. Mm-hmm. And I like it. So I know like, oh, you don't call the police. You call these people.
Yeah.
Because it's people in my neighborhood I realize that might be over the police.
Yeah.
And they don't want the police called.
Yeah.
When things go wrong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Now I just all of a sudden understand what you mean. Yeah.
So,
we need this to be swept.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, these guys can go in your house. They can go in your house and handle whatever they need to handle. Uh-huh. And then, if it's good, then you call the other boys. But it's just reaching and accepting like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I'm in a bubble now.
Yeah.
And I remember complaining about people in the bubble.
I feel like, from what I know about you, I think it's probably because I feel like I only partially earned it. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like I totally earned it. I feel like I got a lot that I didn't really deserve. And I work hard, and I make money and I have a few nice things and whatever. I don't just like suck money from my parents. It's not how I roll. It's not how I would roll. I wouldn't enjoy that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like when you're in that position that you didn't earn versus I feel like you earned your way behind that gate, you feel a little different about it than I might. Well,
I kind of feel like I earned it.
Kind of?
Kind of. Because, I also date a filmmaker. So
I think that counts.
That is
definitely counted.
That's the other thing. Because I live in a neighborhood with a famous comedian. Who stay on my next block. And a lot of people don't know me. So imagine how he feels.
Yeah.
He earned it.
I remember a great Chris Rock joke that was like, I live on a cul-de-sac. It's me, Jay-Z, and a dentist.
Yeah.
In Alpine, New Jersey.
But it's facts. Like you definitely see, like I remember I shot a film, and the person who I was working for is my neighbor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, we're neighbors," and they was like,
"What do you mean?"
Yeah, like what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, here's my address on my license.
You'll hear me coming through with the music.
997 20s.
Yeah. So yeah, and the guy who does Cars and Coffee LA is in my neighborhood also.
Wait, which guy?
It's a guy, he drives an old 964. And he got this yellow Volvo.
Oh, Tony.
That's
No,
I
yellow
never
Volvo?
met him.
No, wait, that's not Tony.
Not
drives
the
yellow.
guy who was at your.
Not British Tony.
No,
He's
not the
driving
guy-
Johnny Rotten's yellow
Yeah,
Volvo.
not the guy who was at your
Yeah.
spot. But when I saw that Volvo, I was like, "Who Volvo is that?" But it's another guy that lived in my neighborhood who had a yellow Volvo like that. I don't see it outside no more.
By the way, sidebar for those listening, the new spot. We'll see who gets there from here. My brother and sister-in-law's Bluey's in Santa Monica because Malibu is donezo. I'm not trying to put it on social media all the time, but if you're this deep into the show,
Yeah.
you can know. Bluey's in Santa Monica Sundays.
I was wondering because I was like,
We were gonna do every
Hush?
we were gonna do every third Sunday of the month, and then I got an email from Bruce Meyer this morning that was like, "Can we just do every Sunday? Like, we need something to do." And so
It's
we can do every
bad.
Sunday.
It's bad out there.
It's dry right now. It is, and unfortunately, like obviously pandemic, right? But the Malibu Cars and Coffee, I would say is 85% plus mask wearing. Pretty good overall.
Yeah.
It's basically on the beach, so it's outdoors and breezy. And it was not shut down because of COVID related shit. It was shut down because the store owners banded together and decided
Yep.
that they didn't want the sports cars here because they wanted their customers to have convenient parking to their stores. It had nothing to do with fucking COVID. So at my brother and sister-in-law's place, Bluey's, they own the parking lot. So there are no store owners to complain.
You hear that? There's no store. Yeah, somebody I know had a GT2 in front of a, not Lululemon, but some store, some high-end, James Pierce or something like that, where you're going to spend $300, $400 for some jogging pants. And the lady came out and was like, "You're blocking the door. They can't see the sign." And I'm like, anybody come here, they know where they they know they're coming to this company. I hate to say I said the name. I'm sorry about
That's
that.
hilarious.
You know.
The next to Bill's restaurant, to the Malibu Kitchen, there's like a yoga clothes store in the corner, and they have a bit part of the porch, and people sit on their part of the porch, and they put up signs that are like no eating, and then they put up more signs that are like no Malibu Kitchen customers. And I went on Sunday at noon. Like literally, I went at noon by myself to go get lunch at Bill's, and there was fucking yellow caution tape around this corner of the porch.
Who's buying yoga pants and then sitting in a table to like?
Well,
you're not, like,
Spike
sipping
and
them.
Ice were sitting out there recording an episode of his podcast a couple weeks ago, and someone came out and said that we were intimidating their customers. Intimidating by yeah. Anyway.
It's
Very
different
scary.
out there.
Very scary.
Malibu's very
It's a
sensitive.
life of leisure. I mean, of course, you don't want to. You want to chill and shop. You know?
Malibu implies things.
Yeah.
It really does.
I was at some store. They gave me champagne with my lady. We did a run for Oscar season, right? And you know, they be like, here go Gucci. Be like, and I went with my lady, and Gucci be like, here go a dress that you can wear.
Oh, tell me you went to the gifting suites.
They wasn't like.
It wasn't like that?
It wasn't popping like you hear about.
Yeah.
But I mean, it definitely was. It definitely was nice. It definitely was nice. Shout out to Amazon.
When they give you booze to shop, it's
Yeah.
But like every drink they give you is like another $1,000 that you're going to spend on something.
Look,
It's
man,
like, the
I
credit
didn't
card
know.
gets
I was
deeper.
just like, sure, I'll take it. You know.
It's a fun experience. You got to live that shit up.
It's good, and like I like the shop. So I mean, that's why I go with my lady. Especially, I mean, I don't buy too much. As you
Yeah.
can tell, I wear the same. I wear merch. I wear a lot of merch.
That's exactly how I would describe
Yeah, I wear.
how I dress. Swag and merch,
I got
mostly
merch.
paired with New Balances.
Yeah. So any free festival or something I don't went to, I'm
Yo,
like,
literally, shout out to Heel and Toe Apparel. Heel and Toe Apparel is sponsoring Wednesday's video.
That's right.
They are.
You'll see that shirt 5 more times.
Yeah, you will. I like yours. I like the Philly Actors shirt. I'm gonna fucking fuck
Thank
with
you.
that. Who's Coogler though?
Coogler is he's from the Bay Area. He directed Creed
Oh, okay, cool.
and also Black Panther.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I need to rewatch Black Panther. I really liked it when I saw it in theaters, but I never watched it again. I gotta give it another watch, especially because what's his name died.
You know what's a crazy movie to watch?
Huh?
If you could stomach it, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was his last film.
Oh, what's that about?
It's about like a singer from the South
Oh, okay.
who's coming to record her first album. This is based on like a real person.
Why, if I can stomach it?
Because the movie is like, it's a period piece, so it might not be.
Oh, it's okay. I like art house stuff.
But he
I
got
like indies.
He got a monologue in that film. I don't
Ma
want to spoil
Rainey's
it.
Black Bottom. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the
No,
monologue.
seriously, I
it's a
take all
strange-
recommendations, dude. I surf through the menus. I have no idea what to watch. Someone I trust tells me something's good.
Yeah.
I'll fuck
I'm
with
gonna
it.
tell you why. Because his monologue in that film.
I like the outfits.
For it to be his last role
Yeah.
is crazy.
The outfits look great.
Yeah.
That guy, his fucking jacket rules there.
Yeah.
That pinstripe blazer kicks ass.
So you saw me, when you saw me at Malibu Kitchen, I did something from the 50s. I
Yeah.
just finished something from the 50s.
I know you had a real barbershop quartet fucking
Yeah.
hairstyle going on.
They gave me a pompadour or something?
Oh wow.
Yeah, they parted my hair and took the rest and just threw it to the side.
Oh, it was great. It was cool. He showed up. He's like, I got a gig. I got a gig. Got a gig.
And it's weird when you cut your facial hair after like me and my lady, we've been strong 5 years. She never seen this right. And the look on her face every morning when she has to register.
It's like
it's
50
me.
first dates. It's like, oh shit, it's you.
No,
And
still
then
Byron.
she started laughing. I mean, I FaceTime everybody. My sister almost crashed. She was like, I'm coming to beat somebody's ass. Who did that to you? You know what I mean? I'm explaining to her it was a film. Like,
That's
it
awesome.
was crazy. It was 3 hours of people laughing.
You're like, I'm not keeping this look.
Nah.
But
But then I might have to go back to it.
can you talk about the movie, or is it still?
Nah, I can't.
All right.
I can't. A
Well,
lot of stuff,
you
yeah.
can
not
promote
like,
that next time.
Yeah, it's not like like other stuff you could promote before. Mm-hmm. But with film, it's like you got to shoot it first and then they got to finish it. Because, I mean, they might cut you out. That has happened.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I went to a premiere with somebody. And
They got cut out.
man, a lot of these scenes got shot.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Big red carpet. They ain't see the film before and everything. And then it was just like, but I didn't know that they would until they said something. And it's I've been cut out a film before.
Were you pleased with whatever was left with that person? Were you like, oh, nice job, that
No,
was
I
okay,
thought it was
it
good.
was cool.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And the film wasn't about them anyway.
It ends and you're like, that was great. And they're like, well, it wasn't great because I did it.
They're like, what
It's
happened to
fine.
this?
It's
What
fine.
happened to
It's
that?
fine.
You know what it is too? I think because with comedy, when you such a big comedy, you selling out theaters, you take a major pay cut to do a film. I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I'm catching this where it's all the same.
Tom Segura told me what you make when you sell out the Garden, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
fucking God. Like, wow. All right. Yeah, you guys are good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Tom,
serious.
Who else? Bert, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at, because we all Comedy Store guys, I look at them like, y'all did it. The independent way, and like, you know, to me, that's smart, you know, and take the time and build these things and work it, you know. And, you know, I remember Tom putting up in his 911, and Joe pulled up in his 911, and Brendan, what's the
Schaub.
MMA fight? Brendan Schaub.
Schaub,
pulled up.
yeah.
I mean, like, the back was packed.
Yeah. Hinchcliffe,
Schaub put up in a,
Hinchcliffe's got a Z06, right?
got a
I think
vet.
He's got a vet.
But was it Shaw Brandon?
Yeah.
He had his Ferrari that night.
Did he get
Which
a Ferrari?
I never
All right.
seen in the Comedy Store.
That's the first time a comic rolled up in a Ferrari?
Ferrari. I seen a Rolls
Who rolled up in a Rolls? Kevin Hart?
Peters.
Russell Peters.
Oh, he has several Rolls Royces.
Yeah,
I've
Russell
heard.
Peters.
Peters was the first.
He's fucking paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
another guy who's like consistent. When you talk about consistent numbers,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, since I've been in LA, it's been consistent. And that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That was, I think, I remember Russell let me drive his turbo Panamera. I had the 914. He's like, "Hey, you got a Porsche. You got to drive this thing. Take it around a block." And I fishtailed it outside of the Comedy Store. I put it in sport mode. I drove it down to Santa Monica, back up Crescent Heights, and then he had a Mulsanne. He just got a Bentley Mulsanne.
That's like driving a freight train, isn't it?
Well,
Good one. Oh,
I
man.
came straight up Crescent Heights. He put it in sport mode. He like, run me to the Comedy Store. I had a few. And I hit that bitch so hard. and it's a dip somewhere on Crescent Heights. That shit bottom out, like, boom. He was like, hey, he's in the back seat. You can hear him, like, I guess you can hear him bouncing. Boom. He was like, hey, this a $300,000 car. 300. Because the first time I drove his car, he was like, oh, you drove it like a wimp or something I drove one time. So I hit this one. He's like, that's a $300,000 car, motherfucker. I was like, oh, that's how much it was?
Are you gonna? Did you watch the Comedy Store documentary?
I haven't watched it yet. I heard it was good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cute. It's nice.
I miss it so much, and I honestly don't like when they talk about the store because they never talk about the store.
Explain.
It's like watching. I don't know. It's hard to explain because you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So everything just seems like
In the documentary, they talk a lot about the store.
they get deep into all the.
Really fucking deep. It's two 90-minute films back to back.
Okay.
It's a fucking lot. It's a lot. It goes in.
Yeah, once you become, I mean, you get the briefing of the Comedy Store.
No, this is a pretty in-depth. I mean, they go dark, man. They talk about when it gets in the 90s, when it gets bad, and they talk about when, Rogan comes back and brings people back. And it's pretty, and Mitzi's, issues and everything, and it's pretty comprehensive.
That still don't sound like it gets into like.
All right.
Well, are you saying that it's hard to capture the experience of being there and being in that club?
Well,
and
some stuff you just can't talk about. It's like it's his own Penn State. It's his own fraternity.
Yeah.
Comedy in itself, there's certain things that have came to light about comedians now that we knew about. We got brief. I remember hearing about, like Cosby when I started comedy. And they was telling me the game. And it was one of the scariest nights ever. And I can't imagine what a president go through when he becomes president. To sit down and see like these are the people you look up to.
Yeah.
Oh, so someone was like, by the way, you look up to this person, but here's
some
what's
truth
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the life behind the glamour or whatever, you know what I mean? So, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I always call us a bunch of degenerates anyway. After like seeing, when I met my lady.
Stability isn't good for comedy.
Well, it's not. It's like definitely. I'm like, what am I? And you know what's crazy? I don't even know. I don't even know if I should tell. It's such an embarrassing story. But I was cleaning some shoes. And I was doing some things on it when they say you got to put it out in the sun. So I put them on the diving board. Like when I dry clothes, I lay them on the diving board.
Uh-huh.
And the pool guy came by and he removed the shoes off the diving board. So I get my temperature like, I'm mad. Like I'm heated. Like, yo, I said something like, yo, man, you moved my shoes? He was like, yeah, man, I didn't want them to get wet. I was like, man, that shit don't matter. It don't matter if they get wet. You know what I mean? They in the sun, they supposed to be cooking. That's why I said I probably would be that person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I'm walking away and he was like, Byron, is that you? And he was like, it's me from the Comedy Store.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, yeah, man, I'm just out here, trying to do the thing to make a living. And I was like, I feel you, man. I'm out here, I'm doing the same. Because nobody know where I live. I keep my lifestyle quiet.
Right.
Different. I even got a different IG for my whip.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, it's twice that doesn't happen.
That's like that happened. That happens in like a sitcom. That's like a scene out of a sitcom.
And you get small like fast.
Yeah. I actually think I remember it from, I don't know, Entourage or something, where it's like a Kevin Dillon goes to a wedding and there's like a caterer at the wedding, and it's like that same exact experience. Yeah.
I mean,
The first time was Postmates.
Oh shit!
I opened the door and I'm like, "You at home? You barely got drawers on, and you just there." And I opened the door, and it was just like, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Mm-hmm. And the guy was
You're like Kevin Hart, and he's like, "Things aren't good right now. Things aren't great right now."
That's hilarious.
Very good, Zach. That's very good. That's a very good joke.
I like that your mind went there and you saw it.
That's a very good joke.
But I mean, that was the first time. And I remember going to the club that night. I think I went to the Improv. And I told another comic, I was like, man, somebody saw where I live. And they was like, yeah, we know. And it was like,
Everybody wants to come to your pool.
That's funny.
so yeah.
I've had fans of my work
Ooh.
deliver food to me before and realize that this is where I live, and the good news is they weren't shitbags about it, but you know.
I think because it's that hood part of me, like they gonna come back.
Yeah, you wanted some kind of fucked up. My wife. My wife. Someone hit her car.
Okay.
She got into an accident. It wasn't her fault. Someone hit her. A bad driver hit her, and the driver didn't have had no license, no insurance. It's a fucking disaster.
Young person, been there before.
Yeah. And Hannah didn't want to give I told Hannah to not give a picture of her driver's license to this person because of concerns of these people showing up at our house and trying to do something. Yeah. Which ultimately the girl, for one reason or another, convinced Hannah to let her take a picture of her driver's license, and 2 days later showed up at our house and rang the doorbell 15 times in 60 minutes. And then left. We weren't home. Wow. But it was pretty sketchy, actually, to be standing there just over and over ringing the doorbell. It was weird. I have it on video.
Man.
So yeah, same thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't
share your ID.
I still would like sell stuff sometimes too online, and I just pick a public place like the Starbucks Reserve to just meet people and do things.
My wife's like fucking pastime is selling shit on Facebook Marketplace. She sells shit for $15, $20. She sells puzzles. She sells like for no money.
I'm that. Yeah.
The amount of time she has no idea what her time is worth. She's an executive at a big company. She makes a great living. She has no clue what her time is worth.
That's how my girls sound. You can be writing a TV show. Yeah. Cause you gonna list some stuff. She over here living her life and stuff. She ordering.
She's selling fucking puzzles
every
to
time
people.
I go to the door, it's a new box. It's a new box from Amazon. I'm like, I gotta
It's funny. It's like when you were selling illegal stuff, you had to meet someone in a place like not near your house. You know, you want to be anonymous. And now, when you're famous, you also want to meet someone in an anonymous place.
No, Hannah's like,
things.
She'll fucking put 3 puzzles under her arm and be like, put her mask on and be like, well, if this person murders me, it was for $15.
Right.
And walk 3 blocks away from
Puts it in
our
a paper
house.
bag.
Sell his fucking
Look, I had to sell it. I sold a car recently, and I had to meet the people, and it was weird. Because they wanted the car. Because once they want the car, you got to transfer the title and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And they was like, we're going to do Venmo. And we're going to give you. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't sell it under my name. I didn't put the ad under my name.
Uh-huh.
I put it under another name.
Okay.
So then they did that. I had to get the name.
Oh, so it seemed a little...
I was like, and then I was like, oh, I got the spare tire for this car at the house. And they was like, we'll run you by the house. And I was like...
Uh-oh.
I was like, all right. So...
It's okay.
I don't know. I'm learning, man.
You just gotta be a judge of character. Like, do I want these people to have my address, or do I want to meet them down at a auto parts
It's
store?
always better to do the latter.
To not.
And not worry about not have that in the back, because when you're in a bigger place. Like, I come from a studio to like a bigger place, and places make noises at night.
They do.
And they don't tell you
the
when you come
houses
from
settle.
the hood.
They settle.
They settle, right?
That's what they call it. They settle.
They don't tell you in Cali you gonna come from the hood, right? And then you gonna get to the burbs, and then it's gonna be coyotes.
Oh yeah.
So you spending all your life learning how to survive in the hood. Like, you walk by gang members, you puff your chest out, you do that, but that don't work on coyotes.
Do you have to interact with coyotes regularly? Like your person?
Before the pandemic, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
You have dogs? Do you walk a dog?
Yep.
That's
You got a small
During
dog.
COVID, coyotes are like, I'm not going to the suburbs. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Half people don't wear masks.
They're like, all these people out here and I could eat, you know, or whatever, you know what I mean? But now I don't see them as much. But my dog would try to attack the coyotes. She's a little dog. And
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not good.
certain things she don't like, but a coyote is just one of those things that set her off, you know.
I mean, that's an animal thing. I think. I don't know. That's pretty normal. Dog.
She probably
dog
just thinks
versus
it's a
coyote.
bigger dog, because I've seen a lot of little dogs and they bark at the little dogs bark at bigger dogs, but the coyote would say
Do they
straight
run?
real quick.
Like if I run, if I like, did that motherfucker go? And we start running for the coyote. She full on.
Right.
And then man, I seen a coyote one time jump a wall that was like 8 feet. And I was like, man, what the fuck am I thinking?
I haven't seen that, but Rogan has talked about that coyotes would jump his very tall fences. I've heard that before.
I bet if your dog saw the coyote jump the 8-foot fence, be like, I don't think I'm gonna bark at those anymore. That's something else.
The first time I saw one, I was walking past a cul-de-sac, and it was night, and something was like, look up. I looked up, and I looked to the left in the cul-de-sac, and it's that one street light that shines in the cul-de-sac, and it was a big, just massive, quiet, like looked like a wolf when you're afraid, coyote, and I was like, oh shit.
Just chilling under the streetlight.
It's right there. It's in the open, and I kept walking, and then it was gone. I turned back, it was gone, and I looked in the car shadow. It was in the car shadow, and it was telling us, but it stayed in the shadow.
Oh.
And I couldn't hear it walk or nothing. I remember picking the dog up because the dog marked his territory.
Yeah.
And just zigzagging as if I was being tailed. You ever been paranoid somebody was following you home?
Yeah.
And you start taking all these other routes? I did that with a heavy-ass dog in my hand.
Oh my God.
Just so it could like not get the scent. Just pick the dog up and just start like just walking.
Yeah, people are armed in the suburbs for different reasons.
They are. I found out. Yeah.
Wow. I think it was hunting.
I live in an
you or your
Armenian
dog,
neighborhood
huh?
too.
Oh, they're fucking crazy. The homie downstairs, he'll tell you all about that shit.
Yeah.
Armenians are out their minds.
They protect you know, I to me, I guess because I'm from the South, it's something familiar with
Armenians or with the suburbs?
with our particular community and the way they maneuver and hold it down. Because if a house comes for sale in our neighborhood, they're going to buy that house.
Someone in the neighborhood
Someone in the neighborhood is gonna
just
get
to
that house
have nobody
and
else.
move that other family. It's like a person in my house that got in my neighborhood because we rent. They got 3.
Oh.
And another person got 3. Like they are like very protect in such a southern way. You know what I mean? And they got their straps and they are nice people, but they definitely are, you know.
That definitely happened. Yeah, in South Carolina where my folks are at, there's like people will buy a big property and put like 4 houses on it.
Yeah.
And like, oh, my cousin's here. And yeah, they do that shit for sure. What about cars? How did you end up being into that Porsche downstairs?
Well, I grew up without a car. My mom had like this old yellow Datsun, and she had another car, and it was always just there. And she'd be like, I can't afford to fix the car. Smell wet on the inside. And I remember saying, just like with my dad's situation, I remember saying, if I ever got a car, I would never get a car I haven't fixed. I can't fix.
Okay.
So that's why that 08 is the newest car I've owned, you know, so.
Can you work on that car?
This car?
Yeah.
I haven't tried, but I'm pretty sure I can.
You could.
Yeah. I looked at lifts, and I'll always look at, you know, how to do you know, basic tune-ups before I buy a car to see if I could do it.
You can, but with your Porsche, a lot of things just require you to drop the engine, which is a thing, you know. And that's
why I was looking at lifts. But somebody told me that my friend where I'm from he's doing a LS swap in a Porsche.
Uh-huh.
So he already prepped me for like, you know, reaching certain things, which you have to do.
Yeah, it's a pain in the dick. It's probably one of those things. It's like not really worth your time.
Yeah.
You could do oil changes and brake pads and stuff if you really wanted to, but like, do you really want to spend your weekend dropping the engine out of your car?
No, I think I'll find a resourceful place for that because it's not like you really have to drop it out a lot.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, if you do, something's gone pretty wrong. And I have a recommendation for you.
Okay.
Marco at TLG Auto in North Hollywood is my homie, and he could take very good care of you if it comes to that.
Yeah. So I mean, trust me, I look at all those things. When you didn't see me, I was researching all these things. So and I had a Honda. You probably remember I put a timing belt in it, drove it all the way out, and that got hit, and I flipped that and got a 944. That was my first German car, and
that's a good one to start with,
bruh. I mean, I almost died in that car a bunch of times. Definitely wasn't ready. Definitely wasn't ready for that. Like you ain't put no. I was putting cheap tires on it, sliding on the freeway. It was all manual. Didn't know how to brake in a manual.
Would you just press the clutch in every time you hit the brakes?
I pressed the brake. I just pressed the brake hard, and the car would slide, and I would yell. And then it would stop. It would stop before hitting the car.
That's because the yelling. That's why.
I don't know if you ever yelled in the car or just cried in the car, but when you hit the height of yelling, something kicks in, and you always look over to the person next to you, and they just looking at you like, what the?
And they're not yelling to you?
Yeah, they're like, what the hell wrong with this person? Because you're like this. You're like this in the car.
Who's riding with you where you're terrified and they're like, what's wrong?
Nobody.
Oh, my God.
At this time. But I remember...
Put them in a WRC car.
Oh, you mean like a car next to you was like, why is that guy freaking out right now? Oh, jeez.
I remember leaving Comedy and Magic Club, and it was misty. And I made a left turn, and the car did a 360. And I'm just with it. And I see a pole, and I see a fire hydrant, and it landed between the both of them and smacked the curb. Bow! And then the light, it was a light that turned green, and cars are coming my way. So I landed backwards.
Oh, you were in the opposite lane?
Yeah, I was in the lane, yeah. And I turned, and I went, and I got to the next light, and I remember I just looked over at the car next to me, and they like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, you know.
All of a sudden, I was just facing this way. When I was like I had my Mustang when I was 17, 18. And I was driving it home from, I was going to college in Philly, and I grew up in New York. And I had this Mustang that had like this big motor, suspension. I put all my money into the Mustang. Woo. And it was like a 95 Mustang. But Philly, because the fucking roads.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Philly and Boston, the worst roads probably in the country. Philly just fucks cars up.
Man.
And it started to fuck this car up. And I was like, I can't be in college anymore. So and have this car. I need to get a different car. So I was driving it back to New York to sell it. And I just like exited an exit ramp, and right in the middle of the exit ramp, the car just did a 360 and stopped like an inch and a half from the wall. And that was the sign to me that, yes, I was right. I sold the car. The guy I sold it to, he gave me cash, $12,000 in cash, and he the next day took it out, no tags, no insurance, and fucking looped it into a telephone pole and wrote off the whole car the very day after I sold it to him, with having never registered it or insured it.
Now, question.
24 hours he had it.
Question.
Poor car.
$12,000 in cash.
Yes.
Did you play with it?
What, like put it all on black?
Like.
What did I do?
Like just sit at the house with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no,
just
you know
rub
what?
it,
I
or you just
distinctly
look at it.
remember it being like way less than I thought. The story that I tell every once in a while is that I withdrew my bar mitzvah money in cash on my 18th birthday and bought a Corvette, which was $48,000. And I had bought one of them aluminum briefcases thinking I was going to fill it like with kidnapping money.
Wow.
And then they gave it to me at the bank, and it was like, one. It was just like one wrap. And I was like, it was like hundreds. I was like, can I have tens? And like, get out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You gonna go to the strip club?
And I did. I bought a Corvette.
Wow.
I had it for 18 years. I kept the car for a very long time.
Wow.
But I did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to pay my rent in cash when I was a valet, so I had the opposite where it was like, it seemed like lots of money, but because it's lots of stacks of ones. So I was just handing my landlord like $780 in ones every month. It's like, you're such an asshole.
I was a valet
Get
too.
off the pole, son.
If you like
it's not
cars,
good for you.
If you like cars and you can't afford any car, be a valet.
Uh-huh.
And the place you valet based on the type of cars you like.
Yeah.
Right? If you want the dope, fly shit with the rims on it, go to a strip club in Atlanta and be a valet for all the rap guys. Yeah.
Zach was a valet.
Yeah, that's why he mentioned it. Yeah. I was a valet
My
too.
other good friend, Sarah, who's a Hollywood stunt driver now, was discovered while being a valet.
Are you serious?
She was literally like being awesome at parking. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That doesn't work if you're a man, by the way. Just, I'm sorry,
Not in
but that's
Cali.
life.
Give us $5.
But
That's it.
if you're a
And
woman
man,
and
you
you're
made
really...
a bad decision in life. And I valeted the Symphony.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Lots
yeah.
of 7 Series BMWs
yeah.
and S-Class Mercedes, I imagine.
Range Rovers. Somebody brought
Mm-hmm.
a Viper through one time. That S, what is it?
I would expect the
RS4.
Venn diagram of Viper owners and Symphony attendees would not intersect.
Nah.
Viper to the
Infrequently.
Symphony?
Infrequently.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, does it?
Somebody showing off. My friend owned the company too, you know. So it was beautiful because I could park the cars. Symphony started at 8, show started at 8, run, do a show, come back.
Oh,
shit.
really?
Yeah, before
do a
it-
set.
do a
oh,
set.
Fuck!
Yeah,
Wow.
and come back.
Did you wear like the valet outfit on
No, we
stage?
didn't bring. We just had a shirt.
Okay.
We just had like a collared shirt, and they'd be always be like, tuck your pants in. You know what I mean? But we running a quarter mile. We parked the
Yeah.
cars a
Yeah.
quarter mile away, and lucky for us, we had a sheriff to block the streets off. So I lost a Viper. Yeah, and it was a RS4 that just came out. The beef.
Yeah.
And somebody
the
had
V8
one.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm shifting the shit out of that car. And it smelled bad. It smelled,
It smelled like improper operation.
bruh. When I pulled that car, that's the
that
only time I
clutch
pulled
smell.
the car. And somebody was like, "What the fuck you do to my car?" He's like, "I can hear it." He's like, now that I own the car, I know. He's like, "I heard it go around the building." He's like, "It smells like transmission." And I remember pulling another ticket and running to get another car.
Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember running in the rain and driving a Bentley with white lambskin rugs. And I had like mud on my feet.
And did they yell at you like for not taking your shoes off?
Yeah.
Those Rolls Royce carpets, they're like 2 inches thick. They're the
Man.
fucking shit, them carpets. My valet guys here have it real nice. They only get to park special cars.
That's and it's kind of like this. The Symphony was
Yeah.
because this is Georgia, so this only this is the culture of
It was Atlanta?
this is Atlanta. So this is the culture of the South that's coming to these things. People with certain tastes. So
Older
yeah.
money, older people probably. going to
Nah, some of these guys were young. Some of these guys was the age I am now. When I go to some of these things, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I've only been to one symphony. It was last year in Palm Springs, and I was the youngest person there by 30 years for sure.
30? I
Yeah.
didn't go to a symphony. I think I went to a Mike Birbiglia show, and I felt. And that's a fellow
That's
comedian.
different.
And I felt
That is
like
different.
I felt like too young to be here.
That's very funny.
But-
I went to see this girl, our friend Dave, the guy actually I bought the Lamborghini from, asked me and my friend Tom if we would come see this person play violin and shoot. And it was this girl who was amazing at violin and was playing the red violin. Like there's a famous red violin. It's like a Stradivarius worth like millions of dollars. And she was amazing at playing and sounded great. But by far the most interesting thing about going to the symphony that night was when we went backstage to meet this woman who was very nice. There was a fucking enormous Viking with her in a suit with the red violin in a carbon fiber case on a backpack. And this guy was the 24-hour meathead guard of this fucking violin.
Wow.
And it was by far the coolest part of the whole night.
Can you imagine beating somebody's ass and killing them because they tried to touch
Well,
your
it had been
violin?
stolen before. That was the thing about this Google the red violin.
Hold on.
There's like a movie made about it because it had
It
gotten
was
stolen.
and they found it.
The Red Violin is a 1998 drama, blah, 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 blah. It's a story of a mysterious red violin. So this woman literally played the red violin, and it had been stolen and recovered at one point. That's the thing. It's a famous thing.
It looked like she is the red violin.
in that
in
weird
that poster?
poster. Yeah. So what's her name? I forget.
How did-
Elizabeth Pitcairn. That's her. Elizabeth Pitcairn, the red violin. Go see her. If anyone gets to see her perform, she is fucking really good.
How did the violin become this thing, like 1.7 million?
Well, so
It's
it's a
almost
Stradivarius
300 years
violin, which is the most I believe, the most expensive musical instrument that exists. So this company is from like the 1700s, made violins, right? And there's still quite a few of them around and are played by like the best violinists, right? And it's like literally like 300 years old.
It's 300 years old. This violinist bought it when she was 16, or acquired it or something. But
it's called the Red
$1.7 million.
Mendelssohn Stradivarius. Yeah, the story of it's fucking crazy. But they let me hold it. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. But also kind of like, it's not like much to look at, but then you think about the fact that it's 300 years old and still sounds like that, and you go, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
Because even old women don't sound the same. I listened to a tape from me when I was in 2009. I was like, man, my octaves sound
Your
totally
voice
different.
like a higher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so youthful and full of like hope.
I can tell that my optimism is gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you were doing that symphony show, were you running to an open mic, or were you running to like a booked gig, or is that just?
I didn't do a lot of open mics in Georgia, so it was like a good book gig, and downtown is centrally located to like move around too. So I mean, I think even when Chris Rock would come perform, when he would work on his sets, I would just go down and see him for like 30 minutes because the club was like right down the street on Marietta Street.
Wow.
So
and it was just like no one was coming to get their car, and the guys you worked
no,
with
because
were cool.
everybody would only come out during a break, and then when the light flashes, you got to go back in.
How was the comedy scene in Atlanta at the time?
At the time, it wasn't as big as it is now. You had two mainstream clubs and maybe one urban club, and like maybe a few rooms, and they book you on based on like how they like you or whatever.
Yeah.
And you had hood rooms, which are like real, they like a certain type of material, And I was weird for those rooms. And then you got the mainstream rooms, which was basically they call them the white comedy clubs, like Punchline and stuff, which they love me over there,
Our friend Micah Bam Bam White took me and Zach to the J Spot here in L.A.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which is a very urban comedy club. And
shout out to J. Anthony Brown. Gave my first writing job.
Oh, really?
When I moved to L.A. Yeah.
And they had some things to say about young Zach. I managed to blend a little in the darkness, but every comic there had just something to say about the fact that Zach was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a guy that went up who was wearing the same colored shirt as me, also a white guy, because we were like 4 white guys in the whole club. And black comedian gets up after him. And he's just riffing on something. He goes, right, he's like, you were up here talking about that earlier. I was like, that was a comedian. I'm actually just a spectator. And the audience lost their mind.
We all look alike.
It's hard. It's
great.
tough.
It was a great moment.
I think
Actually, that was a
alike.
really funny, that was a fun, in hindsight, what a fucking great night that was. That was a really good time that
Yeah,
night.
because if you go to like a
Bam Bam's
comedy
man.
store and then go to that environment, and it's such a different environment, and the subject matter and what is based on relatability.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't even allow you to take. I mean, I take chances on stage. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, sometimes I would say some shit so weird. I mean, the audience would look at each other. And like at the time, when I was young, didn't have no facial hair. It just sounded like a little kid talking crazy. And then I grew my beard out and shit, and they was like, oh, maybe there's some truth into what he said.
Oh, this person's old enough to know something, actually. That's hilarious.
Because it just got darker.
You have to look old enough to be wise enough to come up with these jokes.
Yeah.
You're too young to be wise enough to say these jokes. That's interesting.
You talking about sex and you look 18? And everybody in the club like 29, 30, they going to be like, what?
Like, what do you know?
What do you know about
That's
that?
funny.
And
What
then-
rooms do you really like outside of the Comedy Store?
Man, I like down there every room. I hit the Latina X circuit before they paid. Before you getting paid, before we getting paid, you can go do a Latin room, which is also based on relatability. Also, you know what I mean? And when they don't like you, it's in another language. So it's even colder. It's even colder. You know what I mean?
Do they heckle you in Spanish?
They either heckle you, they whistle,
Oh yeah.
But when they,
Oh man, if they heckle you in like Spanish and you don't understand the joke, but
Bruh.
everyone else in the crowd does, oh that's bad.
like when you at white
You
clubs,
can't even come back from that. You're fucked.
white clubs, they come to have a good time. They might wear anything. You go to the black and Latin clubs, they sharp. If
Oh,
they
it's
look-
formal wear.
I mean, I was at one, Papacita had the hat, cowboy hat, boom, the Western shirt, the belt with the big belt buckle, the boots matched the leather on the belt, some exotic skin, and it came up at the top. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was alligator
real
or snake.
pointed.
Yeah. Like, but whatever the animal was, they utilized that part, and it came up at the top just to let you know, like, this guy wasn't playing around.
I made the whole animal into this boot.
Hey, and when he stare at you, because at that time he probably run the whole room and he's staring at you and stuff. But I mean, look, man, it's been some, like any comic can tell you, it's some memorable moments in a room. I found out about the Noreños and Sureños in the Bay, that some of the Latinos at the top beef with some of the Latinos at the bottom, and this Latino guy this comic brought me up to open for him, and he's a Mexican dude from the South, and he got up to the North, and I remember after the show, the guys was like, man, whatever you need, what you want, coke, weed, you want women, whatever you need, we got you. And then he came up, and they just flashed him
The guns?
the guns and stuff. Like, yeah, we some Noreños up here. We some Noreños up here, you know what I mean? And then it was broken down to why it's like that, which is mostly like, to me, I guess, I ain't gonna call it socioeconomic, but the Northerners were mostly farmers, and the way they entered America was different than some of the Southerners who might have been kicked out, cast out, and they were all like, they considered them more crime-based,
Yeah.
and it's like,
I just walked into the middle of something
Yeah,
that
I
I
walked in
know
the middle of
nothing
something.
about.
so I'm gonna go over here and drink a
Like,
cranberry
I'm,
juice.
I'm opening for him.
But the guy was like, "Norm, you hang out after the show." He's like, "Hey man, we should go on and hit the road." And I was like, "All right." But then there's a moment like, "Hey, am I safe in the car with you?" Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah.
The after show like escapades of a road comic that's like a Doug Stanhope that was like willing to like
Bruh.
do crazy shit with people or whatever, like it's almost too much. It's like overwhelming.
Shout out to, I mean, when I
By the way, one of the fucking funniest people.
when I
love.
seen him at the Comedy Store, he had the green room like you would read about or see on TV.
Like just dying.
No, I mean, it was old school. I don't know if you ever been to the back green room of the Comedy Store.
I haven't been
They
to the
got
green room. I've been to that awesome bar behind the kitchen. That's it. Is that the green room?
They got, no, this is one behind the
bar.
main stage.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, they got this glass piano that Mitzi had. It got razor marks
Like all over it.
from when they used to cut coke and stuff. And when I seen that green room and the medicine on the table and everything was back with the rolled up bill, I was like, oh, this is celebrities that was hiding, that was in the tabloids there. And I was like, this is what you would hear about. This is the legacy right here that I'm a part of, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like you walking back in time. And certain comics are lively like that, and some don't let nobody in the back,
Yeah.
which is weird.
I've only been in that bar, and it was great. It was like the best fucking 2 hours of my life
Yeah.
in that bar, actually, because it was like Joe's always been really nice to me.
Yep.
In terms of like, if he's ever going, like, I mean, obviously this is before the bullshit, but like when he was at the store, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey man, can I come check out your set tonight?" He'd be like, "Yep, come down."
Yeah.
And I'd get there, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're at Mitzi's table," and I'd watch a show at Mitzi's table, and then he'd do his fucking set and come grab me, going, and we're in the bar behind the kitchen, and it's like every heavy hitter is just rolling through, and because I'm there with Joe, it's like, oh, pre-approved, not creep.
Yeah.
And it's like, just don't be an asshole. And I met some really, really famous and talented comedians who had no reason to pay any attention to me at all, except that I was there with him. But like, really awesome experience. Really nice people.
If you make it to the back, I mean, you pretty much solid. And that room was built for that.
Yeah.
And
that little bar.
Man.
Oh, the green room.
Yeah, that green room.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember I was talking to Joe right before you get in the kitchen, and I think that's like our place. Right, with
the little vestibule in the back there, yeah.
Not even before the swinging doors where the waitresses enter and exit, like right in the hall. And I remember people coming up to Joe, and I'm thinking they saying good show, but they trying to actually pitch him, like it's like Shark Tank for him.
That's crazy.
Like, hey man, try this vape out. You like this vape? You know, we got it.
I'm not the least.
And
bit
then he
surprised.
would fade. He would just fade in the back, and I was like, and I'm watching Joe like handle people in like such a a very respectable way. That's something I notice about people. Like they know how to like
You know
dodge
who's the
people.
best at that? Leno.
Oh,
Leno is the most fucking patient person with randoms that I have ever seen in my
you're
life.
right. I've been around him.
He
Leno.
is so patient with randoms. It's amazing that he can do it. And I asked him about it once, and he goes, it's better than talking to some celebrity about some fucking movie that sucks.
He's right. And he's right.
He goes, at least I get to talk to these
He's
guys
right.
about cars. I go, God damn, you got the
He's
right
right.
attitude, bro.
My lady got mad. I was at a gas station, and I talked to somebody. We was on a hiking camping trip. We had rented a camper van, and I talked to somebody for 40 minutes
At a gas station?
about a camper van. And I think she realized, she was like, he lives in that car. He's not camping. And I looked at the car, and he had all his stuff in the car, but he's telling me about gas mileage. He was like, yeah, by the time, if you stop here before you go to L.A., gas here is $3.40. By the time you get to LA, it's gonna be $3.79.
Yeah.
And we having all these type of conversations.
Still got some good tips from that guy, I bet.
And he's like, how long you in LA? Like we doing the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, I live in Venice, so fucking
yeah.
RV people are everywhere. I mean, it's just allowed where I live.
This is what I didn't like about Jay. Me and Jay. I'm saying this, Leno, so you can hear it. When we at the club,
He's coming to Bluey's on Sunday. Just saying. Okay, go ahead.
when we at the club, we in the comedy environment, Jay do not like to talk about cars.
Oh, really?
When I'm like asking
I
about,
didn't know that.
He pulled up in a motorcycle, I'm asking him about his garage. You know what I mean? He's just deflecting this, like how often you work on your set. And
Really?
it almost was a guilt thing because I'm at work right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, he was like, how often you do this? And he's in that mode because he's there to work.
On his set.
on
At
his
Comedy and
set.
Magic or something?
This was actually an improv, and I've seen him at Comedy and Magic before. You know, I think he signed his hat when I was at Comedy and Magic because I'm cool with Mike Lacey and those guys, and he was there working on the Sunday.
How interesting that he doesn't want to talk about cars at the comedy club.
He didn't
That's
with
funny.
me. He didn't with me, you know.
Yeah.
And then I hear other guy like, yeah, man, he let me in the garage.
Yeah.
And
Have you not
everything.
been over there yet?
No, I haven't
oh,
been
yeah.
over there
We
yet.
got to go over there.
Yeah.
It's fucking the coolest.
I haven't been
It's
over
exactly as cool as you expect it to be.
there. Man.
Yeah. It's
Do
rad.
you think he's just trying to stay focused on what he's there to do, and he probably talks about cars so much now because of his show and whatnot that he's like, he just wanted to talk.
You know
about
what?
comedy?
It could be because I think about it after since I got my car going out every weekend, and I could see how, and I thought about you, and I was like, man, it's like with any art form, like doing comedy night after night.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had the luxury of not hanging out with comedians. Like when I was in Atlanta, even now the people I hang out with don't do what I do, because it's so important to the creativity to talk about. You know, even now I'm getting into acting. I don't love that. Like, you know, I was about to say it and I caught myself.
I don't love hanging out with actors. Yeah.
Cause I did a what you call it, like I said, I do an Oscar run when you promoting the film, and you flying to these cities, and it's like, well, now we all best friends and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is totally not what stand up is. Cause you spend 10 years, 15 years finding who you are, and then they want you to be somebody else.
Interesting.
And then as you grow in the game, you're like, oh, you definitely got to be somebody else because it's crazy. Like, I never really seen two actors fist fight. I had to really pay attention. I never seen an actor like, man, you know, F that dude or whatever.
But with comics.
With comics, it'll go down in the hall.
Yeah.
It'll go on in the hallway.
Well, comedy's not teamwork most of the time. You know,
Yeah.
acting is teamwork. Making a TV show is teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't last very long in acting or TV if you're a fucking bad teammate.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, it's like, and you don't know. Yeah, it's just.
But you could be a shitbag if you're funny enough, and you'll get stage time.
That's true. But apparently in acting, you could be a shitbag too.
Oh, maybe.
But if you a lead,
Mel Gibson.
if you're a lead, yeah.
If you're Mel Gibson, you could talk about the Jews.
Yeah.
You could talk about the blacks. You could talk about all kinds of people and get a part playing Santa.
Yeah. But I did want to see that film because that film looked like.
The Fat Man film.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted. to
Yeah,
watch it.
I mean, I'm like, this is how I see Santa Claus. He's dark. You know, when they made that Logan, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This is it. You know, I didn't want him to die though, but you know, either way.
Zach, did anything of consequence come in from the people? We're doing it live, so we got a few questions from the people. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, there we go. Random questions. I like random questions. Scouting for Zen. What car has always symbolized that someone has made it? Like if you see it, you think that person's got money.
Oh man, that's changed recently.
For me, it's a Porsche 356 Speedster.
You know what? You're right. That's
Can't
one of
lease that shit.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Good point.
Because I'll say it changed when I got to LA and you realize people leasing cars and stuff. It really changes everything.
When I learned you could lease a car that was 7 figures, that you could lease that,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry. Are you fucking kidding me? That is the game? $100K down
Yeah.
and $85K a month for whatever the fucker.
Yeah.
You know it is? McLaren's when Thaddeus sent me, our friend Thaddeus lives in Dubai. And he sent me a fucking article from a newspaper ad that was like $4,500 down and $2,500 a month for a 720 or whatever. And I was like, holy shit!
Somebody
on.
just asked me who has a garage, not like this, but a scale of it. It was like, yeah, we should go to Dubai. I was like, man, I can't go to Dubai. I got a credit union. You know what I mean? I ain't ready for that type of.
Well, you know, it's interesting. It's not. It's like it looks like Vegas in the postcards. It ain't Vegas. It's kind of like Phoenix.
Okay.
It looks like Vegas, but it plays like Phoenix.
I had fun in Phoenix.
In real life. I'm not saying it's not fun, but like, you know, you're good in Vegas or in Dubai. Like you could go to Dubai and I could point you in the direction of a couple folks that could like tell you where the value is and to not just be, you know, pure shitbaggery.
But I don't want to.
There's some nice people over there.
I don't want to. Everything of that Vegas part, I'm not a major fan of. But when I see them driving them buggies out in the desert
Oh yeah.
and doing that type of stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, if you want to do Habibi, you want the dunes? Habibi, we go dunes.
Hey,
You want Nissan Patrol?
man.
One of those twin turbo V8 power.
Yeah,
motors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dune culture is very fun.
It looks fun. And
We've got
exciting.
dune culture here though
Yeah.
too.
It's
Glamis.
2 hours away.
I see it, yeah, but I mean, it's different. It's different foreign land. Certain things are just different.
I mean, they're wearing a dish dash, but it's the same fucking dunes, bro.
You're right.
They're probably not drunk though, as much.
No, they might not be
Yeah,
drunk.
might be
That's
safer
true. The
there.
California dune culture involves drunk dune
Yeah.
buggying, which probably not so much in Dubai.
No.
But maybe we should organize a trip. Negative COVID test you get on an Emirates
Bizzle?
flight to do Bizzle. Smoking tire Dubai
think
trip?
I would love to ride
I
in a
think I would be
sand
over
dragster.
there.
Maybe we should go to
I
Dubai,
might be
Zach.
somewhere over
We
there
should.
sometime this year because I think I got to go to Tel Aviv. this
Another
year.
place I'd really like to go.
You never been to Tel Aviv?
No, and as a Jew, I'm, you know, no one told me that when you go on Birthright in college that they just tell you to fuck other Jews.
Yeah.
Nobody said
Nobody
this.
told me neither.
Nobody said that.
I thought I was going to be reading the Torah or something, and it's like, oh wait, you drink and they tell you to fuck other
Yeah.
Jews? I really
When I
missed out.
found out, I definitely asked about it.
This is bullshit.
And I'm not even Jewish. I definitely was like, wait a minute.
You sign up
Yeah.
for 23andMe immediately.
For
You're
free?
Like, check this.
I found out like 2 years too late to do Birthright. It sucks. Yeah, I should have done it. Kevin says you're invited to a dinner party and bring a bottle of wine. Should you expect it to be open to the parties or the gift for the host to do with what they please? It's a gift for the host to do with what they please.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you bring a bottle of wine that is of some like significance, where it's not just a bottle of wine, where it's like this bottle came from and it's then you'd be like, you have to try it and open it for sure. But I don't think you should expect it to be open.
If it's that bottle that they the first time the red violin was played,
good call.
Yeah, then definitely, you should drink. You'll want everybody to drink.
Yeah, but if you bring a bottle, it shouldn't necessarily be expected to be open. David Steinhauer wants to know about the 289 Cobra I recently drove versus the 427 plus Death Trap Cobra I had back in the day. It was the smaller engine was way better. Okay, so real quick, when I was 23, my business partner Larry and I bought a car to promote our detailing shop. We were 24.
Wow.
And
is that the ammo guy?
the ammo guy, Larry Casilla. Yeah, Larry
I watched
Casilla.
some of his videos and then he said he knew you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You do you watch Larry's videos?
I do
great.
watch some of them. Yeah.
Oh, I got to introduce you to Larry. He's the
Yeah.
best. He's the best. I talked to him today.
It's like, and then he got the products to go with it.
He's obsessive.
And
We
I
use
was
his
like-
products here at Westside
I
Collector
saw
Car
it.
Storage.
As soon as I pulled up, I was like,
Yeah,
It's
Clinton
some
was
G shit
working on
going
an
on.
NSX downstairs. It looked beautiful.
Go ahead, though.
But we bought this car and we didn't. We were like, oh, we should get one of these replica Cobras. That's good value for money. But we didn't want to get a regular one, so we bought this one from this guy who raced that had a spare NASCAR engine in it that was detuned a little bit to run on pump gas.
Wow.
But it was like a fucking death trap, this thing. It had what they called a Jericho transmission, which was like a crash box. So no synchros, and once you got going, you could just lift the throttle and slam it into gear to go gung, gung. It was so sketchy. It was like 2,300 pounds and like 600 horsepower, and it was a death trap. It was the kind of car that a stupid 24-year-old would buy thinking that was the answer. And I just recently, and we have a video coming out on Wednesday, drove this other replica Cobra that has less power. That it was you saw Ford versus Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
So you know the white Wimbledon white car that Christian Bale's racing at Willow Springs at the beginning of that? So they're selling those. The company that provided the car for the movie, Superformance, the actual car he's driving in the movie, that's it. They're selling those now. So the only difference between this one that I drove and the one in the film is the windshield. The one in the film has that little stubby racing windshield, and this one has a street windshield. You can get it with the race windshield also if you want. So I went to have a go. It's got skinnier wheels, the wire wheels. It's got a little less power. It's got a little more, and it was fabulous. So fun, really nice to drive, totally manageable, not a death trap. And I recommend.
And they doing it like that because it's safer, or it's just tuned, everything just in sync?
They're also the same company that builds this. This is the slowest one they make. They also make crazy death trap ones that I don't really recommend.
No, I don't recommend that for any young person that no driving.
They make so they'll do a GT40 replica, they do a Cobra replica, and they even have a Daytona Coupe and a Corvette, a vintage Corvette Grand Sport replica as well. And it's the products are of a pretty solid quality. It's not that they're inherently poorly made or anything, but those cars were sketchy as fuck back then, and they're still sketchy as fuck. So
I mean, they were raced really successfully, and they do have some good engineering and balance to them. But I think the thing with Cobras is like you can shove such a big engine in them, everyone assumes you should.
Yeah.
And if you're you had to be a very good driver back in the day to race these big block cars.
Yeah.
And now you can just go, oh, I have X amount of dollars, I can just buy a big block car.
The kind of people who buy them are the same kind of people that need to brag about their horsepower, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And when the car weighs 2,300 pounds, beyond 350, 400, you're just going into the wall faster, pretty
because,
much.
I mean, they weigh nothing, but they have really good weight balance. So they can actually feel really nice around you. But if you overpower it and you're not Ken Miles, like then it's just sketchy.
I'm gonna say this to the public, and some of y'all know because y'all way more advanced than me. I've driven fast cars. I had a car show called Miracle Whips. If you could drive one car for the rest of your life, which car you drive? Drove GTR, drove some rare Bentley, 800 horses, high horsepower cars, and I like the 911. Beautiful car throughout the ages. Like they say, you could drive it to the track, you could drive it home. First car, only at 300 horses. That's all I need. Second, third gear, that's quick. This is the first car I'm considering getting a coach driving.
I have a good coach. Do you want me to introduce you? Kevin Madsen. He's my coach. He's the best.
Yeah. That's how crazy this car is compared to the others. And I did 130 on PCH. And let me tell you something about 130. I don't care what race you are. I mean, it's a speed when you.
What does that have to do with what race you are? Why did you start there?
Because when you black and you driving, it's always a thing about the cops, right?
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
Yep. By the time you hit 120, you ain't even black no more. It's like a spiritual thing.
You drove yourself into whiteness.
You drove yourself into being present.
That's hilarious.
Trees and stuff are moving so fast. You have no worries other than like what's ahead of you, and you're fully present. It's like a spiritual.
Do you ride motorcycles?
No.
That's what riding motorcycles is like. And I don't. When I ride motorcycles, I don't ride motorcycles like I drive cars.
Yeah.
I can drive a car and find the limit of the car and be pretty comfortable with that. I don't do that on motorcycles. I just cruise.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is what it's like to put on a helmet that doesn't have a phone connected to it, and just be on a bike. That's the feeling that you're describing to me.
I don't trust myself, man.
Well, that's good to know too.
I had a lot of accidents because you push it, and like they say, I go in the corner hard.
If you can't trust yourself on a motorcycle, best stay off of them.
Because it's such a free thing. What if I just want to close my eyes?
Nope, don't do that.
Wait a second. Hold back up. Don't do that.
Yeah. You know how you feel free and I'm feeling a bike, the wind is going through everything.
I should if I ever get another chance, which I assure you I won't, but if I do, I'll take you out of the McLaren Elva, that thing without a windshield, which is like as close to that as you can be.
Oh, wow.
It's 800 horsepower. It has no windshield.
Wow.
You want to talk about something that shouldn't work well and does?
He take me out on the night during the locust, the swarm of locusts.
Here's my face.
Oh wow! Look at that. I was about to say you need something on your eyes, and your mouth is open.
I did that I did it for camp.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to do that. Yeah.
I was about to say.
At a certain speed, though, it probably just opens on
Certain
its own,
speed.
right?
Certain speed. You really don't have much choice
Yeah,
anymore.
your lip be like.
No, I went almost 160 in that with no helmet on, and my face felt like it was going to melt off. Thanks for coming down, man. It's really been nice to have you. When you showed up at Cars and Coffee the day, or when I saw you on New Year's Day, I was like, yes,
yeah,
there he is.
I was happy to see you.
We need to
like,
set
wow.
you up with that dude with the fucking singer in a really interesting color combination as well.
UCLA, man.
The UCLA colors. It was aggressive.
Man, I followed him. I met. First off, not to be. It was cool to go to that shell and see like 6 black dudes with Porsches, all type speeds. Because I'm not used to seeing it, and nobody knew each other, and we like, what's up?
How did you guys just end up there together?
I was coming to meet my homeboy who had already left and went up to Newcomb's Ranch. So and apparently everybody that was late.
Yeah.
Was at the motherfucking shell. Everybody was late and waiting on somebody. So that's how we ended up there, right? And
it's 3 black guys in nice Porsches on the side of the road.
I met people in healthcare, finance. I'm from entertainment, so it's like to me.
That dude was in a Taycan as well.
Yeah,
not all gas Porsches as well. Dude was in a Taycan Turbo S.
So my dude was gone. So the guy in the Taycan, I was like, "You mind if I roll behind you?" Like, yeah, I don't mind. New York guy, he just calm. Yeah, come on. And he was like, "I'm waiting on my friend. He's late. He got to move his cars around. He got a lot of cars or whatever." And somebody got the key fob situation, rich people shit.
Yeah.
And so he show up, and I see the singer. In
that color combo too, the UCLA colors.
It is pretty, and then the blue seats. So either way,
Zach, Google the UCLA Commission. They publicize it. We don't have to tell the guy's name, but there is media on this car that exists. I Googled it. So we're not we're not breaking any confidence by talking about the car.
Okay.
The UCLA commission. Yeah, look at this fucking thing. It's yellow on the outside. It's not my choice of color, frankly, but it's yellow on the outside and blue like purple. Is it purple blue?
It's that UCLA Bruins
yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
I mean, he got it on the tag. That's how I know where it's from. But I mean,
if it was just black interior, I would be 100% on it. But
I like it. I like
you
that,
like it?
That color, man. It's like I seen it. I think Slang got a Mercedes with that blue in it. It's a guy named Slang.
Who's Slang? Slang?
Slang, SLANG.
Oh.
He built a gold wing with that blue in it. So I've always been a fan of that blue.
Interesting.
Look up like Slang 500.
You're gonna get some real interesting colors.
Gold wing, yeah. So
are you talking about the guy who does the resto mod, the old school one,
that
right?
one.
Yeah, no, this guy,
So
I've seen this. So this guy, this is really interesting. These builds are based on a modern SLK Mercedes chassis, and they do a custom. They did a Roadster, and they also did a Gull Wing. It's fucking gorgeous. It looks really cool.
And he got a convertible one of those.
Yeah.
Roadsters, and then he got the brown. The
leather interior. It's awesome.
No, he got the brown Porsche, the brown and orange.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
And I think the seat is in the middle.
Oh, he built a single seater. That's awesome.
So
yeah, this is really it's really aggressive with the blue and the quilting, but it's really, really nice work.
I mean, that's why I like that blue, man. It's just something about it, and I like the ocean too. So,
I mean,
I've done acid in the ocean
for a rep. It's not. I don't think it's trying to be the real thing, which is why I kind of like it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It like some stuff on the interior is obviously like a little wonky, but I've seen these cars in person. They do look cool.
It's for a certain demo though. It's for a certain
Yes,
demo.
it is.
I mean, you got to be real to make take those those are HREs right there, huh? I like
yeah,
those.
they are. Those are HREs.
I like those.
I'm going to introduce you to the CEO of the company. We're going to get you HREs for your Porsche. They look great. What color you want to do?
I'm thinking, I was thinking of like a copper.
Fuck yeah, 100%.
But my brakes are yellow though. Would it make?
Well, you can powder coat them.
I want to powder coat the
You
wheels.
can powder coat. No, you can powder coat the brake calipers too. If you don't want them to be yellow. If you do want them to be yellow, then you could.
Yeah.
Copper could work. Because your car's green.
No, my car is brown.
It's brown. Oh, I'm colorblind. Sorry.
And when
I'm fully
my
colorblind.
rims are black, when they full of brake dust, they match the
They're
car.
kind of the same. No, but whatever your color is, brown with copper or like a bronze looking would be killer. Absolutely killer.
I love because they changed the black. That depends on the light, the way the light hit them. So
I'm gonna introduce you to Patrick and Alan at HRE. We're gonna get you some wheels. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be
look
good.
at that. Look
right?
at that. Look at
those.
that whole row up there.
Exactly. That color. That copper color is gonna be awesome. Be perfect. There it is. What do you want to plug before we get out of here?
Man, you know what? I don't even have nothing to plug. You know what I'm doing right now, to be honest? I learned how to, Concrete Cowboys come out on Netflix April the 2nd.
That's awesome.
So check that out. But
I can't wait.
As of now, I'm learning how to pitch TV shows and write, and I'm trying to set myself up to fade into the background. I'm trying to be an adult, have some kids, go to soccer games.
All right.
I'll let y'all have the rest of the game.
For that Instagram. Byron Bowers on Instagram.
Byron Bowers also at Rolling Coffee Bean.
What's that? Is that your car?
That's a car page.
Rolling Coffee Bean.
Rolling
Coffee Bean.
Coffee Bean.
All right.
Because it's brown.
I understand the analogy. I'm about it. Rolling Coffee Bean. Macadam nut. I'll follow that car. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And come see us Sundays at Bluey's in Santa Monica.
Bluey's.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
The
it's
best
nice.
chocolate chip cookie I've had in like...
Their breakfast burritos fucking rule, too.
I heard.
They fucking rule.
The best breakfast burrito I've had in years.
Very last, I have a correction.
Okay.
Someone has corrected me from a previous show.
Way to go.
We talked about this dude, Michael Fuchs, and I referred to him as the inventor of Tempur-Pedic foam. He has a crazy car collection, this guy. He's a fucking kind of a silly guy. And he has a crazy car collection. I referred to him as the inventor of Tempur-Pedic foam. He is not. He was simply a retailer of bedding products. And the people who invented Tempur-Pedic foam for real were kind of not offended, but wanted to make sure that I understood that this guy didn't invent shit.
Oh.
And in fact was just a retailer of bedding products. So I accept that correction, and I will make it.
You see how gangster the betting world is? Even they brag about, you know, these guys when they are kicking it with the people from Sillies. They like, look at you old ass people.
Bro, there's
we
like
future.
a Christopher Guest movie in the, world of mattresses.
Like,
we're the future.
We thought Fuchs was the heavy hitter. We thought he invented the thing. They're like, no. He just sold bedding. We invented the thing. Like, geez, what do you guys have in your collection?
And someone added the editorial in their correction. And by the way, he had to sell a lot of his cars. That picture is from a while ago. That picture's been
that's
circling
because
around.
there's only so much land on the planet.
Whatever.
He got parks his cars in a church. Look how blessed he is. What else is it?
It's very church-like.
Hey, that's what you could do. That's what we could do next. A drive-in church.
Someone's doing that. They're doing that.
Like that?
Oh, like where you drive indoors? and go to
We were
church?
talking about this like 8 years ago. We're like, we should make a church of cars, and then it's tax-free.
Well, I call this the cathedral room.
Yeah.
Right, you do a sermon about speed and driving, and then.
Well,
and
if
we
I
go for
wanted
canyon
to,
drive.
if I wanted to scam, I could. There's a way that I could. If there's a way that I could have a tax exempt status that I'm not doing, but I could if I wanted to. If I were to open as a museum. One day a month.
You're right.
And I don't have to advertise it.
You're right.
But if someone shows up on that day and asks for a tour, I can be like $5, and I wouldn't have to pay taxes.
I would do that. Only because
I probably should.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's some comedy clubs
Fuck out of here.
that are. If you ever go to the comedy club, like the Laugh Factory, and you see they got the old outfit that this person had on in that movie, and they got these old records, these comedy records.
Shit, how about this?
It's a reason why the way real estate is on Sunset, certain buildings won't get torn down.
Yeah, historic. Yeah.
So
Smart.
these are the things you pick up.
If they're doing it, why shouldn't I? I really
that's
should.
what I'm saying.
You heard it here, folks. I should definitely take advantage of that. Byron,
Financial literacy.
L'chaim. Thanks for
L'chaim.
coming, brother.
Tada. Tada.
And thank you all for joining us. We will see you later.
Next time.
Bye!